get into the Cove.
Whoa!
What can Terry's Tigers do for an encore? 14 starters return, 9 on defense, as Auburn tries to continue the unbeaten streak. But standing in the way is Ole Miss. Former Rebel defensive coordinator Joe Lee Dunn takes over as head coach, hoping to duplicate Bowden's first-year success. Now the Rebels try to get the job done for their new head coach, as Auburn invades Oxford next.
Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the best in college football, the Southeastern Conference. Today's Lee Apparel SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Lee Apparel, maker of regular, relaxed, and easy-fit jeans and casual pants. Lee is the brand that fits. By your Southeast Mercury dealers, who invite you to take a good look at a whole new mystique about the South, the new Mercury Mystique, on sale September 29th. By CarQuest Auto Parts. For the CarQuest store nearest you, call 1-800-492-PART. And by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you.
It is a warm and beautiful college football Saturday in Oxford, Mississippi, and the Auburn Tigers, coming off the perfect season, come visiting the Rebels of Ole Miss. I'm Bob Carpenter. We welcome Dave Roto, our broadcast team in the SEC this year. And, of course, Terry Bowden's Tigers are back on TV. They cannot win the SEC championship or go to a bowl game, but they have a lot to play for, Dave, coming off that perfect 11-0.
They certainly do, Bob. For Terry Bowden, his first season was a dream season. Came in, replaced Pat Dye, went 11-0. Best ever first season start for a head coach, and he just wants that dream to continue.
And they have a lot of the same personnel back. They will be a force to be reckoned with in the SEC West. Now, the Ole Miss Rebels have undergone a complete transition. Billy Brewer is gone. Joe Lee Dunn is on. He's only been the head coach since July, and it's been a whirlwind for him.
Oh, it has been. The last 6 weeks for Joe Lee Dunn have been no time to dream. Came in, had to make the transition from defensive coordinator over to head coach. He said that when he gets a chance to dream, he wants it to be just like Terry Bowden.
Well, it shapes up as a very noisy opening day down on the field. Bob Kessling is down there. We'll check in with him when we get back. And we have to tell you, there are 14,000 Auburn fans who have made the trip to Oxford. The Rebels and the Tigers coming up.
The date has been set. The countdown has begun. It's the big 94 Lincoln Clearance Countdown. With great deals on every Lincoln in stock. Now save up to $2,500 on our full lineup. Choose the total elegance of Lincoln Continental, the unparalleled performance of Lincoln Mark 8, or the uncompromised comfort of Lincoln Town Car. The big 94 Lincoln Clearance Countdown with big savings on the whole Lincoln lineup. The time to move is now, because time is running out.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief.
Power, BC Power.
No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC.
BC Power in the powder. The power of BC.
When you need strong relief, BC powder stops pain fast.
The power of BC. Get off the couch, turn off the tube, blow the dust off the barbecue, turn up the heat, break out the buns, we're going outside, gonna have some fun, and this is going all out, gonna save you more, going all out, for the great outdoors, we've got everything that you're looking for, going all out, for the great outdoors.
We do it right at Dorsey. Great selection of Plymouth, Dodge, Chrysler, and Dodge trucks. Chrysler's highest honors and award-winning service.
tremendous selection of used cars and trucks. Hometown courtesy. At Dorsey Motor Sales, we offer you all this and 24 years experience of doing it right.
A couple of hours ago, the Rebels playing here at home, making the Grove walk on the way from their facilities down toward the stadium. There's Joe Lee Dunn, followed by his staff, and it has to be a special day for him. He's from Columbus, Georgia, right up the road from Auburn. His folks are here, and they're big Auburn/Alabama fans. It's a big day for him, and Bob Kessling, our man again this year, down on the sidelines. And Bob, great atmosphere pregame downstairs.
No question about that, Bob. And also, it's a big day for two quarterbacks in the game. First, for the Auburn Tigers, Patrick Nix takes over for Stan White. He has some experience. He played in 5 games last year, and he's thrown 3 touchdown passes in his career, 26 overall. Terry Bowden thinks that with some experience, he could be one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC. Josh Nelson, the junior college player, gets the start for Ole Miss. He threw 14 touchdown passes in junior college last year. He threw 40 passes in 1 game last season. He might throw that many in the first half if you listen to the Ole Miss coaches today.
All right, Bob Kessling, these two teams played last year. It was a close game in one way. It's a warm day here. Jolie Dunn says he'd like it to be a lot warmer. He was hoping it'd be about 95 today, as they've done all their conditioning here at home in this hot weather. There's Lonnie Colicchio, a junior from Plantation, Florida. He's a punter, but he handles the kickoffs for the Ole Miss Rebels, an outstanding junior college kicker a couple of years ago. Thomas Bailey, a senior wide receiver who averaged 19.4 per return, is back to receive it. Ole Miss has won the toss. They will defer, so Auburn will have the football.
And Bob, if I'm Joe Lee Dunn, I want to kick off. I want to get my defense out there first. I want to set the tone, take the Auburn fans out of this football game and try to hold them tight down there, get good field position. He is a rambunctious, I guess you'd say, defensive coach. Of course, now head coach.
Joe Lee Dunn, conditioning is everything. While the offense is standing around talking about formations, he's got his kids in the heat working out, and he says that pays off for them in the 4th quarter. Rebels with the kickoff. Lonnie Colicchio. They're coming off a 5-6 season when they lost 4 of their last 5 games. They spent themselves on the Alabama game, could not win it. They played the Tide tough, and they didn't have anything left for the stretch run.
Oh, good kick into the corner.
Yeah, it takes a nice slow bounce. Thomas Bailey tries to get outside, and he was knocked down back around the 15-yard line by Ole Miss's number 46. That is Jerry Graber, a free safety. There's the offense. Patrick Nix, the junior quarterback out of Rainbow City, Alabama. Watch out for Stephen Davis, a good-looking junior tailback. He hasn't played much because of a guy named Bostic. Up front, split side and tight side. Shannon Robeek, an All-SEC performer last year. Willie Anderson made the All-SEC freshman team. Out of that pro-eye formation, a fake pitch to the deep man, and then the pass to the near sidelines off the hands of Frank Sanders. I doubt if he would have been in bounds even had he caught the ball cleanly.
Yeah, the ball was overthrown. He was not going to be able to get one of those feet down. But interesting play action, throw back against the grain to a wide out here one-on-one. This should really be a game that's going to be a game of really interesting strategy on both sides.
Ole Miss plays the 52 defense. Wilson and Carmichael trying to replace the likes of Dwayne Dotson and Cassius Ware outside. Look out for Abdul Jackson. And they have a veteran secondary, even though they lost Johnny Dixon and Tony Collier at safety and corner. Stephen Davis, the ball carrier. And guess who? Abdul Jackson, the 6'1 senior out of Atlanta. And he fills the middle so well.
Well, one thing Joe Lee Dunn likes to do is get a lot of people in the box. That's the tackle-to-tackle linebacker. So you'll see 7, 8 guys inside that tackle-to-tackle box. Then they'll drop back out into their coverage, or else they'll come. He really mixes it up on defense.
3rd down and 8 for the Tigers. They were 39% on 3rd down last year. And Nix with a simple give, and that's his tailback, Stephen Davis. He is stopped out short of the 25-yard line. Michael Lowry coming up from strong safety, and Joe Lee's defense sets the tone early.
Well, they call this lead draw, but you can see that the lineman kind of got stuffed in the backfield there. Leonard Thomas missed his block, and the back had to go around him, so there was no path. But this is exactly what Joe Lee Dunn has got to want. He wants to get good field position for his offense, especially with a young quarterback.
Red Thomas back to receive it from the All-American Terry Daniel. Oh, this is a beauty. Way back to the 16-yard line. Thomas fumbles. And the Tigers are saying they've got it. Up with the football is number 1, Darrell Riggins.
Oh, you
Big
can't do
hit
this.
by John Colin.
Watch this hit. You're going to see he doesn't put the ball away. There's really nobody down there to block. The ball just comes out the backside. That's Colin who got the hit on it. And Auburn's got great field position. You just do not want to do this. Turnovers will kill you.
A 60-yard kick by Terry Daniel. No, he did not outkick his coverage. At the 24-yard line, the Tigers will have it. And the pitch to the deep man, Stephen Davis. And he's got about 4, maybe 5. Ole Miss, number 1 in the nation in total yardage given up last year. Only 234 yards a game. They only gave up 102 on the ground and 132 through the air per game.
What a high school career he had.
Well, in 1991, USA chose him the National Player of the Year. 5,425 all-purpose yards on top of that 4,500 on the ground. And a little quick opener by the Tigers. Ball moved down to about the 15-yard line. Joe Frazier, the fullback, 6-foot senior. Not checking, it was Harold Morrow who spells Frazier back there on the carry.
This is an interesting situation here. It's going to be 3rd down, about 1 yard to go. Do you pull it down? Do you try to go for the pass? Do you just get the safe first down?
This will be a 3rd and 1.
What do you think? Smoking Joe back there?
It's Harold Morrow and Stephen Davis behind the quarterback. And he'll do it himself, will Patrick Nix. Pretty good surge up the middle by Shannon Robeek, Leonard Thomas, and Jason Taylor, the guards. They lost some outstanding players up there. Anthony Redmond, All-SEC. Went to the NFL. Wayne Gandy, All-SEC and an All-American. Todd Boland.
Bob, I love the comment that Terry Bowden said about Robeek. He said he's the glue that holds everything together up front. That's quite a comment and compliment.
First down with the nose of the football just outside the 18-yard line. Terry Bowden says we didn't get televised much at Sanford and Salem College, so it's his first time on TV today. There's the pitch to Davis. Trying to get upfield and forget it. He was closed off in a hurry by Norman Hand, the left tackle.
That's what you want to do on a wide play. You want to run them to the sideline so that they run out of bounds. There's no place for him to turn up. Watch as he takes the ball here. That's Davis now. He's going to try to go wide. There's nowhere there. You can see the defense coming up. Look at the number of blue shirts in your picture. That's great line play. It's called pursuit.
Norman Hand combined with Tim Bowens, who passed up the senior season to go to the NFL, for 92 tackles and 6 sacks last year at the tackle position. In the shotgun, only 1 back for the Tigers on 2nd and 10. Nix with time, straight ahead. Sanders inside the 5. Alundis Price from left corner wrapped him up. And the Tigers will be down close to a 1st and goal, if not beyond.
Great play selection that time. You put him in a shotgun so he gets to see the action right away. See, he's back there. He doesn't have to go back and set up. He looks downfield, quickly picks up Sanders on a crossing pattern. He's wide open, dumps it to him, and picks up the 1st down, or close to it.
With all due respect to Stan White, number 1 all-time in Auburn passing with 8,000 yards plus, Terry Bowden says that Patrick Nix should be able to step in And the Tigers, Dave, will not miss a beat because he's a lot like Stan with his experience and some outstanding leadership. This will set up a third and short.
Now, will he go back with a quarterback sneak like they were successful last time? I've never liked quarterback sneaks, I'll tell you. Because the quarterback's standing there, he doesn't have any momentum. The center's got the ball, he's got to snap the ball first. But when you've got a good one like Rabik, you can count on him getting some push in the middle.
And they may consider the fact that they really have 2 plays to get the first down if they don't kick the field goal. Nix getting a surge. Leading the way was number 71, Willie Anderson. Abdul Jackson coming up on the hit. Nix didn't have any momentum, but he had some room to churn his way through there, and it'll be 1st and goal against Joe Lee Dunn's defense. This is what he was afraid of. A turnover early, and then Auburn could just pound it right at you.
Well, that really takes the momentum away from your defense. When your defense comes out, holds them, then you're going to get the ball in decent field position, and all of a sudden you give it up on a mistake. That just takes a lot of the steam out of your defense.
Nix giving it off. Stephen Davis. Momentum will be stopped short of the goal line before he was pushed back. Davis scored 3 touchdowns on the ground last year when he ran for 480 yards.
Watch Davis when he runs in here. Good vision into the hole. There's the hole. Put that head down. Make sure you got that ball put away and hold it in tight. Again, a little different handoff, a little toss, so Davis gets the ball a little bit deeper in the backfield so he can see the hole.
He has 7 carries for 17 yards already. 2nd and goal, Nix. And did he break the plane? It's a touchdown for Auburn. And it takes less than 6 minutes for the Tigers to get on the scoreboard.
That was just an excellent series by Auburn. This is just line surge. This is right along in the grinded out time. You can see what Nix does. He stays up there, gets those feet, and he just keeps on pushing with those feet. Allows those big linemen. You talked about Willie Anderson before. 6'6", 300 and what, 8, 9 pound sophomore? He's just a youngster.
A big one. Point after coming. Matt Hawkins pushed it a little bit to the right, but it's inside the upright. And it took 5 minutes and 48 seconds after the turnovers. An 8-play drive, and the Tigers are on top.
Trouble getting into your jeans? Try Relax Fit jeans from Lee.
This car is equipped with just about every safety device available today. Like safety glass, airbag, seat and shoulder belts. And the Nationwide Insurance Company fought for every one of them. Unfortunately, the safety device that saves the most lives was ignored.
No, thanks. I'm driving.
Your Nationwide insurance agent urges you not to drink and drive.
Problem. You notice your paint is chipping a bit. Solution? Go to Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse, because Lowe's knows you want an incredible selection of colors and everything else you need. All the best brand names, including 100% acrylic severe weather paint, guaranteed for 15 years, and like everything Lowe's sells, at the guaranteed lowest price. So how do you protect your home? Lowe's, because Lowe's knows paint.
We all know the friendly BP card. Loyal, helpful, but does it earn you free gasoline? Well, now it does. Your new BP card automatically rebates 3% of every BP gasoline purchase toward free BP gasoline. And your new BP card is also a Visa. With every Visa purchase earning you more free gasoline, up to $300 worth a year, and no annual fee. No other card performs like this. Look for the new BP Visa. BP, on the move.
Auburn has had the Ole Miss defense on the field the entire 5 minutes, 48 seconds so far. The scoring drive was an 8-play one. Only 24 yards. It took over 4 minutes after the turnover. Matt Hawkins, who knocked through the extra point, will be the kickoff man. Capped by the Patrick Nix plunge. And the ball to the near side. And up around the 20-yard line, and pretty good coverage by the Tigers there. Number 31 on the return for Ole Miss, Malika Griffin. And this new offense of Ole Miss, Josh Nelson, the quarterback, a junior who played at Fullerton College of California, threw for 2,262 yards last year. DeBoris Fisher, an exciting young performer. There's the offensive line. They lost the likes of Clint Conley, Wesley Melton, and Joel Jordan up there. But they've got some guys, preseason All-SEC performers like Chris May and James Holcomb. Up the middle. Ball was thrown behind the tight end, but a good catch by Chris Mangum. And Dave Rowe, I don't know if that's going to set a tone for the season. Last year, Ole Miss's tight ends caught 4 passes all year. Willie Whitehead, Pelton, Walker, and Etheridge in this 4-3 defense of Auburn, with Jason Miska in the middle, Anthony Harris and Marcellus Mostella flanking him. They lost Calvin Jackson out of that left corner position. Del McGee gets the start there. But they call it a no-name defense that doesn't have a whole lot of stars.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said there's not anyone that really stands out there.
First down for Ole Miss on that first play, and Mark Smith, the junior running back out of Wesson, Mississippi, the man on the carry.
And Bob, I was watching Nelson that time. When they called into play, he's got a pad on his arm of plays. They signal in which play it is. He looks down on his hand, picks out the play, takes a little bit of pressure off the new starter.
Mark Smith was their number 3 receiver last year, catching balls for 101 yards along with those 300 on the ground. So he's a guy who could really benefit from this new offense installed by offensive coordinator Larry Keck. Joe Lee Dunn says, I'd rather throw it 30% of the time, but I have a feeling it may be just the opposite. It could be 70% of the time for the Rebels today.
Oh, they ran out the clock. I believe they had a violation. You've got to look up at that clock in the end zone and pick up when the time is going to run out. So when you see it get down to 8, 7, 6, 5, you've got to get ready to run the play.
Delay a game. Offense.
Dick Burleson, the referee, is assigned by Bobby Gaston in the SEC today. Butch Hanna, the umpire, Billy Shore, the linesman, and the rest of the crew, Ronald Leatherwood, Ben Oldham, Joe Delaney, and Harold Mitchell. The line, side, field, and back judges. This will make it 2nd and 13. Out to the left, and the ball squirts through the hands of Lee May Thomas. A very catchable ball. Lee May have been thinking about his move upfield.
Yeah, that's a slip screen out to the flat. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the ball out there quickly. Nelson had a lot of pressure in his face. You can see how quickly one of the defensive linemen got out there. That's because our offensive linemen are supposed to slide out to the flat, get ahead of that receiver.
Ole Miss averaged 304 yards in the ground last year. 30% on third down. They were pretty balanced, 140 on the ground, 160 plus through the air. This is 3rd and long. And he is out of time. The sack made back there by number 50, Mike Pelton.
Sacks Nelson. And Bob, that's a secondary sack. That's what we used to call them. When your secondary gets such great coverage that the quarterback has nowhere to go. Look at the time he has sitting back here. No pressure on him yet. No pressure on him yet. Looks downfield. Great coverage and nowhere to step up. That's a real tip of the hat to the defensive secondary.
Lonnie Colicchio with his first collegiate punt coming up. And the Tigers of Auburn will come out of this with great field position unless they make a mistake. They're coming for the block, and he almost got it. Ball bounces at midfield, and then Ole Miss gets a great bounce. Down around the 33 of Auburn. And nearly blocking the punt was Del McGee.
Colicchio had to see that pressure. That ball shanked off the outside of his foot. Fortunately, he got about a 15-yard roll on it.
Well, Dave, shanking it may be what kept it from being blocked.
I think you're right.
Del McGee was all over him. Tigers have the football back, 6:46 first quarter. Auburn up by a touchdown.
The strength of the Southeastern Conference is legendary. 9 national titles in 1 year. the nation's top football attendance with nearly 5 million fans and more than $23 million in scholarships. At First Alabama and Regions Bank, we salute the strength of the SEC because whether it's in athletics or banking, we know that strength means success.
First Alabama and Regions, official banks of the SEC championships.
At Larry Puckett Chevrolet GO in Prattville, we let our customers do the talking.
I looked all around the Montgomery area and surrounding areas trying to find a four-wheel drive extended cab pickup truck with a long bed. Had a lot of trouble trying to find one. Finally, I came to Larry Puckett. They found me one. We decided on a good price, and I'm tickled to death with the truck.
Take the short drive to big savings. Larry Puckett Chevrolet GO in Prattville.
They really do let the customers do the talking.
When can you get these estimates out?
How do you really know the world is round?
How can we cut these financing costs?
Do people live on other planets?
Every day, you're faced with all kinds of questions.
Hey, are you going to make Friday's deadline?
If you'd like to find the answers to life's more important questions, be a big brother.
How do you decide what you want to be when you grow up?
It'll make a man out of him and a boy out of you.
Listen to Talk Radio 1170 AM, WACV, and Rush Limbaugh, the perfect combination in Montgomery.
I'm right, and I'm having fun. With half my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair, Rush Limbaugh serving humanity. The only healthful addiction in America, that being an addiction to the Rush Limbaugh program.
Talk Radio and Rush, 1170 AM, WACV.
Vaught Hemingway Stadium, and it's been all visitors so far as the Auburn Tigers lead at 7-0. Terry Bowden's team off to the good start. Things have gone about as well for his Tigers as you could hope in the first quarter of the season. They've got the football back at their own 33. Bob Carpenter and Dave Rowe and all of us at Jefferson Pilot Sports are proud to be here for our third consecutive year of SEC coverage. And we look forward to a great 13 weeks with you. Nix with some play action. Oh. That ball is picked off. Out on the corner, Alundis Bryce has it.
What a great move by Bryce to cut underneath their wide receiver.
Last year, he tied Antonio Langham for the SEC lead.
Fake action into the line. Now, this is a long pass. Watch Bryce just cut right underneath, dive for the ball, get great control. Outstanding play.
Picked off 7 passes last year, and with Alabama's great defender Langham, that was number 2 in the NCAA. He's wearing number 38 because he received the Chucky Mullins Courage Award here, and he came up with a big play early. And that's a pretty good catch right there by Mark Smith on a ball thrown low. So just as Ole Miss was getting beaten up in time of possession, they get the football back.
Well, that's what Joe Lee Dunn likes. He likes their defense to be aggressive. He likes them to go after the football. As we talked earlier, you'll see those people in the box. He says, hey, go for that interception. It's a lot better than standing back there and letting them catch it in front of you.
Second down and 9. And the Tigers were not fooled by that one. Gary Walker, the right defensive tackle, was there to meet Mark Smith.
Well, this Tiger team is an excellent, very well-coached football team. It's hard to fall for that draw screen on that play right there because it's second down, it's 10. Their inside linebackers and the defensive tackles are thinking draw. They're coming inside. There's no alley to go.
Gary Walker moved from defensive end to defensive tackle, and the Tigers lost all SEC tackle Damon Primus. Third down and 12. Out to the left side, right on target, and caught out there by Joe Woods, a junior out of Union, South Carolina, who's caught 15 passes over the last 2 years, and Del McGee did a good job to contain him.
And big decision time right here. You're on about the 30, maybe 31, 32-yard line. You need about 2 yards for that first down. You're going to kick a field goal. You're going to go for that first down.
If you're a defensive coordinator / head coach, you go for 3.
That's right. You get the points.
And this will be a long one. It'll be about 47 yards for Tim Montz. He hit 11 of 11 in a scrimmage from between 21 and 46 yards last week. This a 47-yarder. Bubba Bonds is the holder. David Vinson the snapper. Boy, it's long enough. Wow. That would have gone over from about 50 or 60. What a bomb. And Tim Mons has it through, and the Ole Miss Rebels are on the scoreboard. 7-3 Auburn. Home team cashes in the turnover, and we'll return after this message from CarQuest.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like dependable CarQuest filters, high-efficiency filters keep your engine running clean and smooth. That's why professionals choose CarQuest. CarQuest filters, superior by design. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
The date has been set. The countdown has begun. It's the big 94 Mercury clearance countdown with great deals on every Mercury in stock. Check out a sticker price of just $19,990 on the V8-powered rear-wheel drive 6-passenger Mercury Grand Marquis. Just ranked best model in its price class in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates. If you're looking for full-size value, look no more. The big 94 Mercury clearance countdown with big savings on Mercury Grand Marquis. The time to move is now because time is running out.
And if your license plate number is 039EYC, call within 30 seconds to win $100,000. That's right. Call 555-2445 now, and that money is all yours. We're waiting, but you better hurry. There's only 20 seconds left. Call 555-2445 now. Hurry. Boy, 100 grand on the line and only seconds left to claim it.
Need a little more room in your jeans?
3, 2, 1. Aww.
Try Lee, the brand that fits.
What a kick by Tim Mons. 47 yards with a lot to spare.
This thing was still climbing when it got to the goalpost. Watch Mounts. He knows right away. It's good. Look at him.
He was a place kicker for only the last 2 games of the 93 season. Walter Grand had held it before that, went 12 of 20, but he was Billy Brewer's guy. Tim Mons is Jolie Dunn's guy.
I thought that was interesting the other day in that scrimmage. They made him go kick. 11 kicks. Just said, we're going to kick until you get tired or else you're going to miss. He made 11 out of 11. That's why you have confidence on him on a 48-yard kick. And that is a huge momentum swing. As we talked earlier, Jolie Dunn knows that he's got to get points. You just couldn't come out there and not get any score. You have to get some points when you get an opportunity.
Colicchio's kick, and he bombs it. He's been kicking them 8 yards deep into the end zone during practice. And that's just about where he put that one to Thomas Bailey. So the Auburn Tigers will have it back for the 3rd time. 4:34 to go, first quarter. Very entertaining first stanza of the 94 season. And Auburn on top 7-0 as Mons boots the 48-yarder at the 4:34 mark. A 4-play, 7-yard, 2-minute, 5-second drive after the interception by Alundis Bryce, who looks like he wants to take over for Antonio Langham as the dominant secondary man in the SEC.
Look at the enthusiasm on this Ole Miss defense now. They're ready to play football. They know their offense can move the football and score. They feel they just have to hold them. Now, if you're on the Auburn side, you're saying, let's take control back of this football game. Let's drive the ball. Let's run good passes.
Out to the right side. Trying to get out there is Stephen Davis with some good yardage on the corner. He'll get about 8 or 9 on first down. Bob Kessling, great season for the Tigers last year and a little jewelry because of it.
That's exactly right. They had the best record in the SEC, but they couldn't win a championship because of probation. So Terry Bowden, the Auburn Athletic Department, gave all the coaches and the players this ring that said, best in the SEC. Doesn't say championship, but they do have the notice that they were the best squad in the conference last year.
Yeah, Bob, and Dave Rowe tells us those rings are bigger than Super Bowl rings.
It was huge. You could set a quarter on top of that ring, and you could still see around the outside.
Oh, 2nd down and 2, and Harold Morrow just about got sent into tomorrow. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage by David McGowan, the right tackle, just a sophomore out of Utica, Mississippi, who played 8 games as a redshirt freshman last year. He's coming off a spring injury, but he looked healthy on that stop for the Rebels.
Well, what do you think? Quarterback sneak? They've done it 3 times in that last drive.
It's been successful for them. That's what they need. 1 yard. They got to make it to the 30-yard line.
They're 2 out of 3 on third down. They'll go to the tailback. He had trouble handling it. It appears, though, that Stephen Davis got control and then got the yardage he needed. He had to get right to the 30-yard line to make the first down.
I thought that was Stacy Wilson that undercut him there. You can see he falls. If he hadn't gotten his left leg down there to propel him past the line, I don't think he would have made it. Awfully close.
Well, you can look where the football is. The middle of the ball is on the 30-yard line, so they made it by half a ball length.
Isn't that an interesting handoff where you toss it back to the back? He's only about 2 yards from you, but you actually toss it to him. You don't hand it off.
Next to the same man, off left tackle. Good gang tackling. Sidney Carmichael, who's small for a defensive end, 5'11", 220, a senior. Number 23 up to make part of the stop.
And Bob, that was one of those times, one of those defensive calls where you had the 8 men in the box. The 3 linebackers jumped up in the gaps. You knew they were coming. If you're a defensive back, that gets awfully lonely out there. You're one-on-one.
Hey, how many defensive guys do you see who ran for 4,000 yards in high school? Sidney Carmichael did at Monroe County High School in Monroeville, Alabama. Second down and 9. Nix tripped up by himself a bit, and he's got the presence of mind to hit Thomas Bailey out on the left flank. And Bailey's got big yardage to the 49-yard line.
On a play like that, you start establishing the run, and then that quarterback fakes that run and comes back on a naked boot. He's all out there by himself. Watch this. Everybody has to respect the run. Now he comes back over here, picks up his wide receivers outside. Little missed tackle here. You've got to use that sideline. You can't wing them like that. Defensive coaches don't like that.
Looks like the right corner, Derek Jones, who took over out there for Tony Collier, is the man who missed the tackle. Jones just a sophomore. First down, shotgun at the 49. Nix all the time he needs. And that ball should have been caught by Thomas Bailey. Or was it Frank Sanders? Sanders 81, Bailey 18, and Frank should have had that one. He's number 2 all time in the Auburn list with 63 catches. Or number 10, excuse me. Our Nationwide Insurance SEC Scholar Athlete of the Week is Kyle Wicker of the Ole Miss Rebels defense, a member of the 1993 SEC Academic Honor Roll, 3.64 GPA in exercise science, and that's why he's our Nationwide Insurance SEC Scholar Athlete of the Week. He's got an older brother, Trey Wicker, who plays on the defensive squad. Nix right up the middle. Tight coverage by Derek Jones, and there is a flag. Derek Jones all over the intended receiver. It appears to be pass interference. He was working against Thomas Bailey.
The question is, did he put his left hand on him and try to block the ball? It looked like he knocked the ball down with his right hand. It's going to be from the left of your screen. Now watch here. If he puts his left hand on him, that's pass interference. You see, he knocks the ball away with his right hand. The official that was in the back of the play called it. He had a better angle on it. That's what he called pass interference.
So after the missed tackle, Dave, Auburn goes right back at the sophomore cornerback, Derek Jones.
I thought it was interesting. The coach calls Derek Jones a warrior. Well, that's quite a tribute there. You get called a warrior and you're a defensive back. That means you're tough.
His cousin is ex-Notre Dame quarterback Tony Rice. First down after 35. A minute and a half to go in the quarter. Nix up top. He's got a man open. And the ball was caught and dropped. That would have been an unbelievable catch by Frank Sanders.
I thought the ground knocked it out, but he evidently didn't have his feet down. But what a stretch by Sanders. Watch the tail end of this. It looks like the ball's way overthrown. Again, not a whole lot of pressure, but what a tremendous reach. Watch this. Get those hands out. Now, does he have it there? He can't get his feet down. See, his feet aren't down, and the fumble comes out. Again, look at this stretch. He's got it there. Now, if he can just get his feet down.
Second down and 10. Ball is just outside the Ole Miss 35. A fake reverse and then keeping it is Stephen Davis. And Willie Gaucher coming around for the right side. Well, next week we will head for Tuscaloosa. The Lee Apparel SEC Game of the Week features defending West champion Alabama. They'll host the Commodores in Vanderbilt. We'll be on the air at 12:30 East and 11:30 Central on most of these SEC stations.
Bob, who's Stephen Davis remind you of running technique? A little bit like Eric Dickerson, maybe? That upright stance?
6'2", 223, lanky. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 6 out of the shotgun. Nix, nobody open, tries to do it himself, and the initial hit came from number 92, Ed Fortson, who backs up Norman Hand on that left tackle side for Ole Miss.
Good blocking up front, no real pressure. I think Nix just decided to run with. See the number of people up in the box there? He gets good position, good blocking up there. Now Nix is scattering off to your right there. He almost picks up the first down. This is going to be a decision time. You got to weigh this out. It's 4th down and 1. You're going to have not a long field goal, but if you can score a first down here and go in for a touchdown, it's a huge swing momentum-wise.
Terry Bowden will spend a time out here to talk it over with Patrick Nix with 19 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Well, the decision that they're making, Bob, is whether to go for that first down. I think that they've already decided that they're going to go. When the coach is talking to the quarterback, there's a pretty good indication.
Well, he's not going to spend a timeout to go for a field goal.
No.
Bob Kessling downstairs.
You know, Ole Miss is one of the only schools in the country that has 2 different colors for home jerseys. They either wear red or blue. Most of the time the past couple of years they've worn red. Today they come out in blue jerseys. We asked Joe Lee Dunn if there's any reason for that. He said, I just decided to pick blue. But there is one coincidence. 2 years ago when Ole Miss beat Auburn, they were in blue jerseys.
They say coaches aren't superstitious?
Not at all, are they? Terry Bowden on TV for the first time. So are the Tigers.
Dude, I've never been on TV. They didn't play any TV games at Sanford or Salem College, but our players are excited. It really, all these things are motivators. If it gets you practicing well, it makes you think about what you've got to do so you can shine in front of maybe somebody that couldn't see you, or an aunt that never saw you play. These are great for these guys. TV is just a great addition to these young men experiencing the great time.
Yeah, they look like they like television. Jesse McCovery, the tight end for the touchdown. A 4th and 1 play action, and Auburn is on top 13-0.
What a play here. Fake action to the line. It's a tight end sneak. He comes across the field. Nobody has him. You can see they're trying to catch up. And what a great block by Andy Fuller on Mike Worley.
Extra point attempt from Matt Hawkins. Brian Brinsfield, the snapper. Patrick Sullivan, the holder. Yeah, that's Sullivan family. And it is no problem. 14-0 Tigers with 12 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Bobby, set up plays, and that's what that play was. This is fake action strong. It's called tight end sneak. He's on the left of your screen. He starts to sneak across. Right there he is on the corner. Comes out there, and watch the block here. Good block. Well, you barely could see it, but it was a great block there on Worley by Andy Fuller.
24-yard pass. And Auburn's in great shape on the road. First quarter on top, 14-3. And Bob Kessling, let's check in downstairs again.
Terry Bowden, of course, is a guy who's a master motivator. Last year he had pins, lapel pins made out that said attitude with AU emphasized in it. Well, he's got another lapel pin this year. It's audacity. So you'll see all the Auburn supporters wearing them. AU, audacity. So far, they've had a lot of audacity today against Ole Miss.
You had to come in on the road, Bob, and take a 14-3 lead. I wouldn't wear that on the red and blue side of the field, though. You may want to take that off before you switch sides.
He could probably just stick his gum over the top of it. They won't see it.
Too innocent. One of the Ole Miss receivers back for the kick. Malika Griffin, Fred Thomas back there. Matt Hawkins, short kick. Comes down at the 14-yard line. It's Griffin. He breaks through. Near side. And he's across midfield. The ground caused the fumble, and the Rebels will have great field position. Only 4 seconds to go now in the first quarter.
Well, what a move he's set him up here. Watch his tail end. You come up there, you wait for the seam to develop. Right there's the seam. Now you just burst through it. Right here, one more step to the outside, and he wouldn't have gotten pushed down. We'd have been, the band would have been playing.
"46 yards on the return. And off the left side, not much there. Looked like Due Innocent was the ball carrier, and a whole den of Tigers there to meet him. And the first quarter comes to a close. Touchdowns by Patrick Nix and Jesse McCovery, and the Tigers lead at 14-3.
Get off the couch, turn off the tube, blow the dust off the barbecue, turn up the heat, break out the buns. We're going outside, gonna have some fun, and this is going all out, gonna save you more, going all out for the great outdoors. We've got everything that you're looking for, going all out for the great outdoors.
My store is my life. I've given it everything. To me, there's nothing else like it.
At Nationwide Insurance, we believe that every business is different. Each one has its own needs. You have to...
They've helped me with my home and car insurance, so I knew we could develop a plan to protect my business.
And the last thing Bob needs to worry about is insurance. That's my job.
Nationwide is on your side.
Success in intercollegiate athletics has been a long tradition of the Southeastern Conference. But that's not the only reason we're proud of our student athletes, coaches, and staff. We're just as proud of their involvement with United Way supported programs in their local community. By giving back, they're fulfilling one of the SEC's most important educational goals. And they're proving that a commitment to helping people in need is the mark of a true champion.
The SEC and United Way teaming up to make a difference.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
Second quarter coming up here in Oxford, Mississippi. And let's have a look at our Lee Apparel first quarter stats. It's not a pretty picture for the home team. 10 total yards.
1 first down.
Josh Nelson straight up the middle. Ball caught and dropped by Taboris Fisher. Fisher, just a sophomore out of Jackson. He was an All-American in high school there. Made the SEC All-Freshman team last year. He was a good receiver at that wingback spot. Time of possession also a big edge in the first quarter for the visiting team.
Well, it's time for Nelson to answer the call. He needs to get back there, set up a little bit quicker, look downfield. Now you got those big hosses coming on you.
Very quickly, a third down and 9. Nowhere to throw it. Trying to run it to the near side and cracked down by Ken Elvis at about the 42-yard line, and then we have a flag down.
Now that may be against Ole Miss. Watch the tail end of this play. Nowhere to go. He's a right-handed quarterback running to his left. That's tough to throw. So he just decides to pick up as much yardage as he can. Watch the tail end of this play. We might see something. I don't see where the flag came in, but right in there was when he threw it. Oh, right there's the flag. You see on the side there?
Looked like Skip Joyce, the center, number 76, got out there and threw a late elbow.
Foul. Personal foul on the offense, 15 yards.
Now, see, I would decline that penalty because that would make it 4th down. And you see right there, that's what they're saying to Joe Lee Dunn. They'd say, "Hey, wait a minute, we're going to get that down over again." Now, that might have been a dead ball foul after the play, and if it is, it doesn't change it. Yes, it is. That's a 4th down, so that was a dead ball foul.
Loss of yardage and the play to Boris Fisher and company off the field and back. Thomas Bailey to receive it. Ronnie Colicchio with the punt. And they've got 10 men at the line of scrimmage. Do the Tigers. A wobbly spiral down to the 16. Cutting to his left is Bailey. And he'll get about 5 yards. Bailey's been outstanding during his career. Over 1,000 yards in punt returns, an Auburn record. Yeah, and that guy's here. I'll be the Tiger.
Well, this is a big series here. You hate to talk about big series early in a game, but this is a big series. Auburn wants to continue coming out here, dominating the football, controlling the line of scrimmage, eating up that clock. Don't give Ole Miss the chance. Ole Miss's defense is out there saying, hey, listen, I think we can move the football. The coaches are over there saying, just get it to our offense. Nelson's starting to calm down a little bit. Just get the ball back for us.
After the 41-yard kick, the Tigers out of that pro-I offense. And right into a wall of Ole Miss Rebels runs Harold Morrow. There's a flag on the play right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that might have been Anderson popping up early. Willie Anderson, 71, may have popped up a little bit early on that play.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offensive line.
And when you get 6'6", 306 started, it's pretty hard to stop. Willie out of Whistler, Alabama, played in Viger High School down there in the Mobile area, preseason All-SEC.
Now that's a powerhouse, that high school, isn't it?
They're one of the great programs down there. First minute of the second quarter. So make it 1st and 15. Straight ahead, then a little angle to the right by Stephen Davis. He always looks in so much control. Never looks hurried back there. Of course, the Tigers are replacing James Bostic. They're all SEC. Almost 2,100 yards total. He was 7th all-time in the Auburn chart. Let's check in downstairs with Bob Kessler.
Bob, one concern for the Auburn team is the fact that during two-a-day practices, the entire team was hit with an intestinal flu. Some of the players, in fact, missed practice. In fact, one of the players, the middle linebacker, Jason Miska, was actually in the hospital for 4 days, and the flu bug did not even escape head coach Terry Bowden. He was hit with it. So the defense really is welcoming all this rest they're getting right now.
Plenty of it. Offense is at the time of possession. Nick's rolling out, and he angles it ahead on the sideline for Frank Sanders. Sanders, an interesting story, outstanding athlete. He was a starting outfielder on Auburn's team that went to the College World Series this past spring. Offered a Major League Baseball contract, but many feel his future is football.
And he had that concentration like he had that time. That was a simple little out pattern, but his feet went out from under him real quick. He had great concentration looking the football in. There's the signal of the play.
3rd down and 4 at the 27. This is a big play for the Ole Miss defense. Auburn 3 out of 6 third down conversions. Couple of wide receivers out to the left. They split the backs for the shotgun. And into the flat it goes. Good running after the catch. And Auburn will move the chains. Thomas Bailey, the senior wide receiver, doing battle there.
And you can see the Auburn respect they have for this defense. Little rolling pocket that time, little curl pattern just to get that first down yardage. Excellent play selection.
And a guy who's excellent to throw it to on that play. Thomas Bailey, very steady. Not as explosive or strong as Frank Sanders, but they know if they get it out there, Bailey will catch it. First down at the 37. Nix with play action, lots of time, long down the middle. And actually, Ole Miss's number 8, Antonio Bonner, had the best chance at it. Frank Sanders, the intended receiver, but Bonner had good position.
Yeah, that's one of those keep them honest plays. You don't let those defensive safeties start to creep up, so you throw one down the middle long.
Well, seats are selling fast. It's approaching a sellout, but there are some tickets left for the 1994 SEC Football Championship game. That's December 3rd at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. 1-800-732-4849. They will play indoors this year after 2 years at Legion Field in Birmingham.
There's an audible.
On 2nd and 10. First man through. Number 5 is Joe Frazier.
More flags.
Frazier, a 6'2", 211 senior out of Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery. Didn't carry the ball much last year. Only 4 times. Played some linebacker and made some tackles on special teams.
We may see this at tail end. I think it's the inadvertent face mask where the hand is across the mask. It's not used to pull him down, which is the major infraction. What's the great situation here? 2nd down, 2 yards. You know you have that run. Do you take that chance and throw that home run ball?
Tigers have the ball out at their own 46-yard line. They're on top 14-3. Right ahead over midfield. Patrick Nix, the quarterback. We talked about James Bostic. We've talked about Stan White, quarterback and tailback respectively. And when they graduated, the Tigers lost 71% of their offense from last year. Bostic, number 7 on the all-time chart. White, number 1 on the all-time passing chart. Although we must say, in all fairness to Pat Sullivan, Stan got to play for 4 years.
Yeah,
Pat only got to play for 3, back from 69 to 71. Off the right side, Stephen Davis down around the 45.
Well, Bob, if you're a defensive coach right now, you say, hey, we've got to make something happen. We've got to get penetration. Watch Davis take this ball. Now he takes it, little toss. Again, looks a lot like Eric Dickerson up there. When he sees that hole, just kind of scoots through and picks up that yardage. I compare him to Eric Dickerson because he has that upright stance when he runs the football.
Averaging over 3 yards a carry. Averaged 5.5 a carry last year. He ran for nearly 480 yards. Second down and 6. Nix with a deep drop, and here comes the screen, but nobody out there. Now, there was good coverage in the flat. Quarterback pressured by Huck Ferguson of Ole Miss. And then Stacy Wilson, the defensive end, was lurking out there looking for an easy pick.
Well, they say that Abdul Jackson does a blitz miss, but you see him right in the middle there. Now, get back out to the play quick. That's a good play by the defense. Get pressure on the quarterback, make him get rid of that ball before it develops.
3rd down and 6. Another big play for Jackson. 2nd team All-American preseason, All-SEC. Some have chosen him already as the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 6. And flags fly as movement early in that line of scrimmage.
That's a free 5 yards. You can really see the mixing up of defensive fronts by Ole Miss. They're trying to bring those linebackers inside, get pressure on the quarterback.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
And that's what you've got to do in this situation. You just can't allow that quarterback time to go downfield.
Warm day, 82 at game time, but a lot warmer as the sun is straight overhead. Penalties have been a factor. Tigers now backed up to their side of midfield on 3rd and 11. Nix under pressure, and the ball almost picked off on the corner as Alundis Bryce was looking for his 2nd of the day.
Boy, and I like Alundis Bryce. I like the way he reacts to the football. A lot of defensive backs will drop back there and play the receiver, and he's playing the football. When he makes that close on the ball, it's going to be to the left of your screen here. Now, when he makes that close on the football, watch him go for the ball. Hands up, get your hand in there, get the ball, and again, almost comes up with another interception.
Terry Daniel, the punter, 60 yards his first time today. He just pooches one from his own 40, and it's caught at the 10 by Tavoris Fisher. Forget it. They get about 5 yards. Great coverage by the Tigers. That's one of those where the kicker gives up the yardage average to give his team good field position. 4.5 minutes into the 2nd quarter, and it's Auburn on top, 14-3.
Here in the Outback, we play our own brand of football. Outback rules. No sidelines. No time limits. No telling which way the boomerang will bounce. just the ultimate goal. Great steak. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Mike's the first guy that ever explained life insurance in a way that we could understand it.
Making things clear is the part of my job I like best.
He showed us all of the options that Nationwide has and even helped us choose.
It's training. Seminars and updates, it just never stops at Nationwide.
With life insurance, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we know Mike.
Agents like Mike are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side. Power, BC Power.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief.
Power, BC Power.
No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC.
BC Power in the powder. The power of BC.
When you need strong relief, BC Powder stops pain fast.
The power of BC.
Toyota's summer clearance is this Labor Day weekend only.
Here it is, come and get it.
Right now, get special 2.9% financing when you buy any new Camry. 2.9%. Or lease Camry for $229 a month with automatic transmission, dual airbags, air conditioning, AM/FM cassette, cruise control, power steering, power windows and locks. Hurry this Labor Day weekend.
Hurry, 'cause it's going fast.
Toyota's nationwide clearance. It all ends Monday night.
On our JP scoreline, some of your early ones, Texas and Duke on top. How about Duke over Maryland ACC play? The latest scores, it's $1 a minute. And a big play. On 1st and 10 from the 16. Nothing much happening there for the Ole Miss Rebels. And let's check in again downstairs with Bob Kessling.
You know, Rebel coach Joe Lee Dunn is a delightful guy to talk to. He's not a guy who really likes ties or coats or socks. In fact, he says about 40% of the time he doesn't wear socks. Today, he's got them on. The problem is today with Joe Lee Dunn, he doesn't have a belt on.
It looks like his pants are a little bit long there.
Hey, he doesn't care about that stuff. This is a guy football through and through. I don't think Joe Lee's really comfortable yet with the head coaching thing. Press conferences, interviews, angling across the middle, catching the football is Taburis Fisher, and then he took a pretty good lick. Derek Robinson, who shares starting time at middle linebacker with Jason Miska there to meet him.
And watch the time Nelson has to sit back here. This is what he needs. He's that type of quarterback. Drop back. He's that 5 to 7 yard pocket sitting back in there and no one in his face. If he gets that, he'll tear you apart.
It's a very emotional day for Josh Nelson. His family is here from California, including his 19-year-old sister who is seriously ill, seeing him start at Division I for the first time. He's got the same man, Fisher, again. The quarterback got popped, the receiver got popped, and there's a flag on the field.
Where that flag is thrown from, it's almost always along the line of scrimmage. Someone lines up in the neutral zone or illegal motion. That really hurts.
And so does this replay.
Yeah, watch the tail end of this. Look downfield, boom, there they are, and you even bump into your own guy. Watch the hit downfield, though. Again, good pocket to step up in. Nice delivery. Pretty good little smack. That's no man's land for the wide receiver. Robinson will hit him.
Robinson in the secondary. 3rd down and 13 for the Rebels. Look out. Forget it. First man there was 96, Gary Walker. And then Marcellus Mastella was there to finish off the play.
Oh, this is a lineman's time. That 3rd down situation, 12 yards to go. You know he has to pass. You don't worry about the run, the screen, the draw. You just take off. This is big man on big man. Watch the pocket collapse. Little twist in the middle. That was a nice play there. They did it what they call a tackle twist. One tackle comes down, the other one loops around.
Hey, if you're Ole Miss, that's an unfriendly end of the field. Right in front of the Auburn section is Lonnie Colicchio. And he doesn't have much room to work with. The Tigers should come out with great field position again. He gets it away. End over end, up high toward the right side. He gets another great bounce. Ball started at the 6-yard line, so he'll get about a 41-yard kick out of that. But again, Auburn will be in great position, already leading 14-3. Tigers coming off the 11-0 season in great shape in their season opener.
The date has been set. The countdown has begun. It's the big 94 Mercury Clearance Countdown with great deals on every Mercury in stock. Check out the high-performance rear-wheel drive Mercury Cougar XR7 with a wraparound cockpit, complete with standard dual airbags. All for the lowest sticker price in its class, just $16,955. The big 94 Mercury Clearance Countdown with big savings on Mercury Cougar. The time to move is now because time is running out.
The new BP Visa card is causing quite a stir because now it automatically rebates 3% of every BP gasoline purchase toward free BP gasoline. Plus, use it as a Visa and you earn more free gasoline, up to $300 worth a year. So, take a vacation, earn free gasoline. Dinner out, earn free gasoline. Same with all your shopping and no annual fee. Get the new BP Visa. Call 1-800-BP-VISA-1. BP. On the move.
In testing, the Lexus GS cornered better than the BMW 540i. You may say that it's only a matter of inches, and you'd be right. But there will be instances on the road where an inch is as good as a mile. And the GS is thousands less than the 540i at Reinhard Lexus in Montgomery.
Why pay more when you can buy for less? At Big W Furniture Center Montgomery, major savings every day through 100-store buying power. An acre of bargains, name brands in every department. This solid wood bedroom, dresser, mirror, bed, nightstand, only $7.99. Three-piece queen and living room, sofa, love seat, and chair, only $4.99. Popular recliner, just $88. Big W Furniture Center, 3620 Atlanta Highway, Montgomery, next to Winners Bingo. Now open every day, financing available, free layaway.
Yeah, there's a lot of orange and blue in the stands today. 14,000 tickets were sold to Auburn for this game. Why not? On the near side, Stephen Davis. Flag flies as he cuts upfield. The ball started at the 47 of Ole Miss.
See if this is an improper block on Stacy Wilson. Wilson's got great penetration way upfield. He's about five yards in the backfield, took down the lead blocker. That's what it is. He's going to be holding. Well, you kind of get the feeling this is one of those games where momentum's swinging back and forth. Ole Miss obviously hasn't gotten a lot going on offense. Nelson needs to get back and relax a little bit, but their defense has played well. They've been out there a long time today.
Auburn feels at home here in Oxford. Average field position just 3 yards short of midfield. Ole Miss, meanwhile, back in touchback territory. And here in the second quarter, they've got thousands of Auburn fans screaming right behind their backs. First and 15 at the 42. Shotgun for Nix. He'll look left, out there in a hurry, to the corner, catching it, escaping momentarily. That steady receiver, Thomas Bailey. Well, Terry Bowden only had Stan White for 1 year. Now he's got Patrick Nix.
I think so. Patrick Nix has been at Auburn a long time. He came here knowing he had to stay behind Stan White for 3 years. He got in a little early last year, but he goes in on a 4th and 15 and throws a touchdown pass and then plays a quarter and a half and leads us to a victory over Alabama. He's ready. He's experienced. He's poised, and I think he's going to play real well today.
He was 3 out of 3 for 50 yards against Bama that day and hit Frank Sanders with that 35-yard touchdown pass. They beat Alabama 22-14. Straight up the middle, intercepted. Abdul Jackson to midfield. He was wide open. And he's jawing at the official. Maybe he thought he took a late hit or something, but Abdul does the job in there. And according to my stats, that's his first career interception.
Watch him just play the quarterback's eyes. He's number 53. Just plays the quarterback's eyes. I think he thought he got a face mask on the tail end of this play. You see right there? I believe that's face mask all the way. He says, where's the flag?
Yep, that's his first. Now if he gets a sack, he'll be off 0 in that as well. How about a guy?
That's an interception against the offense.
Oh boy.
Now that was an interesting call. They didn't catch the face mask on the tackle, but they called a personal foul. Again, there's the face mask. Then they called a personal foul against Ole Miss.
Joe Lee Dunn on the near sideline is livid. Well, that's a big play. And then you give up a lot of yardage on the penalty. So the Rebels start from their own 38-yard line with 6:51 to go before halftime. Play action, Josh Nelson straight ahead. Mike Helton wrapped him up, number 50. We were making the point about Abdul Jackson. How about a guy with 255 tackles in 3 years? No sacks.
I know, that's amazing. They say he blitzes all the time, gets great penetration. Of course, I love his attitude about playing this game. He said, it's wide open out there. It's kind of like sandlot defense. We dictate to the offense the way they're going to have to play. That's what you want in a linebacker.
He'll get that sack sometime this year.
I promise you.
He may get a bunch of 2nd and 7. Nelson looks to his left. Woods on the near side. Nice little move. He put a would-be tackler, Marcellus Mostella, on the turf with a great fake. Didn't get the first down, but he got a lot more than that play should have, and it'll be about 3rd and 3.
And you have to give credit to this big defensive line. No one gets knocked down. When they make this play back there, you've got to count on your defensive line. Look at them coming down the line to make that tackle. Again, look at those big linemen coming in there.
Joe Woods, a junior, coming back from back surgery just 2 weeks ago, believe it or not. That ball caught, but that'll be a loss of yardage of about 3 to Boris Fisher on a ball thrown behind him. Even had he caught the ball cleanly, that would have been a loss.
Well, that's I don't like that play selection at all. You're going to try to catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down, about 3 yards. You've got to pick up the first down yardage.
Colicchio to punt it. Thomas Bailey back to receive. By the way, 3 years ago, Thomas Bailey returned to punt 83 yards for a touchdown against, guess who? Ole Miss. That's the last time Auburn got a touchdown from a punt return. Colicchio hits this one beautifully. Back at the 13. Nothing left. A little bit right. And forget it. Good coverage. Fred Thomas down there for Ole Miss on a 47-yard kick by Lonnie Colicchio. 4:39 to go. First half, and Auburn will have it back, still leading 14-3.
Considering what you go through to put on most jeans, who needs an exercise program? Try Lee, the brand that fits.
Take a deep breath. Count to 10. And get ready.
What is going on here?
To take the fall. Charlie Sheen.
Are you out of your mind? Yes! Yes, I am!
Nastasha Kinski.
How do you stop this thing?
Terminal Velocity, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, September 23rd at a theater near you.
Toyota's summer clearance is this Labor Day weekend only.
Here it is, come and get it.
Save on a Corolla lease. Right now, just $179 a month. With automatic transmission, dual airbags, air conditioning, AM/FM radio, power steering. Or get low 3.99% financing when you buy any new Corolla. Come and get it this Labor Day weekend.
You better hurry, 'cause it's going by.
Toyota's nationwide clearance ends Monday night.
Auburn Tigers leading 14-3 here at Oxford, Mississippi. One of the problems with the Ole Miss offense, they haven't been able to generate any kind of passing attack. Rel Preston, their leading receiver from last year, has been held out the first half for apparent disciplinary reasons. He is expected to play in the second half, and the Rebels could use some offensive punch.
Yeah, Preston led them, Bob, last year with 35 catches, second to only Eddie Small, who had the great career. Free agent signee of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Antonio Spanner and company in the middle. Stacy Wilson stopping Stephen Davis there. Clock runs inside 4:15, second quarter.
This is the time you want to hold them deep here. Try to get that ball back. You've got a good chance of getting it back midfield.
Dave, you wonder if the turnovers have made Nix and the Tigers a little wary here.
Their defense has been out there a long time. The defense has been out there a long time, but Nix has been out there a while.
No scoring in the second quarter. And the second quarter last year was when Auburn put up more points than any other quarter. Look how good they were. And look at Ole Miss in the third quarter. No touchdowns. And only 31 points then in the fourth.
He gave up 5 field goals all year.
That's what Joe Lee says about his conditioning. His boys love to be out there in the second half. Auburn will have a 3rd and 2. The pitch. Davis. And he's all the way out beyond the 30-yard line. That'll move the chains with room to spare. And we've got a player shaken up in the backfield. It's an Ole Miss player.
Look at Davis get up. He looks like he's getting up and hurting a little bit.
There was some sticking going on here. This might be Kyle Wicker.
Look at Davis see that hole. He's got great vision into the hole. That's what you want in your running back. When he gets that football, you don't want him just putting his head down and taking off.
So Davis gets up slowly. There's an Ole Miss player down. Might be Sidney Carmichael. Or is it Abdul Jackson, 53?
Ooh, can't lose him.
Ole Miss lost 4 of its top 5 tacklers to graduation. Guys like Dwayne Dotson, who's with the Cowboys, Cassius Ware, who's with the Colts, and of course Gary Abide, who played at linebacker. They lost veterans of the defensive line like Sean O'Malley, David Harris, and Brian Mays, who all started at least 1 game up there. So they're doing some serious replacing from that great defensive squad of a year ago. First down at the 31 for the Tigers. First man through. Oh my. Harold Morrow.
I think that was McGowan that got him. I mean, stuck him. That's what you call a decleater. Watch how quickly he goes down. Bam. And you can see the bottom of his cleats when he's done. Decleater, we used to call that. Abdul Jackson, they cannot play without him. It looks like they're checking his knee. He's been in on 4 or 5 tackles. He's got that interception early. They talked about him blitzing. They just don't want to lose him. He did walk off the field, though.
Second down and 11 after McGowan's tackle for loss. Fake pitch to the right. Nix rolling out and wrapping him up from behind. McGowan again.
Now, you may want to use a timeout in this situation. Clock's just down to about 2 minutes. Going to have about a 3rd down and 11, 12-yard situation.
Rebels have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Again, don't get faked with play action. Get back outside, make that plant, get outside. Wicker gets out there. That's just an excellent play.
Yeah, Kyle Wicker, they didn't need his pursuit because of David McGowan. 3rd and 11. And a little straight ahead give. And you can tell that Stephen Davis was taking care of the football there, Dave. He had both arms wrapped around it.
Yeah, you don't want to fumble in that situation. You put that football, when you go in traffic, you put that ball away, you hold it. Because the turnover there is terrible. Now they take the timeout. Now this is to me a little interesting. They had a chance to take that timeout with about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. They ran that one play. They got all the way down to 1:35 before they called timeout.
SEC football is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealer. I love what you do for me, Toyota. And by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's knows home improvement. Bob Carpenter and Dave Rowe. And for those of you who are wondering about the whereabouts of Tim Foley,
yeah, where
the old defensive back will be back with us. He'll be back with us for some of the games later this season. But Dave, we're awfully glad to have you.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm having a good time.
And speaking of guys like that, the announcers of this game selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast a copyright presentation. Any use of it without the express permission of the SEC and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Boris Fisher back to receive the kick of Terry Daniel.
When Daniel, he gives them great field position because he punts so long, so high. Look at that average. 45.5 yards. You just don't get that great return on him.
He can stretch it out here, but he doesn't get all of it. Ball comes down low. One hop to the 13. And to Boris Fisher. Taken down. Outstanding play by Marcellus Mostella, the linebacker on special team. 50 yards on the kick.
Well, again, good kick, 50 yards on the kick, and no return. And that really was a returnable kick. That was a low one. That's probably his worst kick as far as hang time.
Well, to Boris Fisher, just a sophomore. And, of course, last year on his first touch as a collegian, he had the 77-yard touchdown return against Auburn. That was really about all of their offense that day. Jolie Dunn says they beat the H-E-double-L out of us that day, and the score was only 16-12. Big trouble.
Oh, don't go that way.
And that is in the end zone for a safety. Mark Smith taken down.
Oh, boy, don't run that way. I'm sure Jolie Dunn is saying, don't run that way. But what great pursuit by Auburn. They stopped him. Watch this. They're going to stop him to the outside. Right there. That's Harris who has him there. Now he lets him go. Smith starts coming around. McGee's going to get a hand on him, and he's going to tackle him in the end zone. But again, once you change direction, watch how quickly the pursuit will get you. The point of attack is out here. Now right there, he gets turned around. Now what you don't want to do is you can't get around them. Linemen today are so much faster than they were years ago. You're not going to outrun them. You don't run back into no man's land.
And finally, Del McGee finished it off. That makes it 16-13. Plus the Tigers will get the football back. A devastating play for Ole Miss. Yeah, the flag is flying high on the road. Auburn back home next week to take on Northeastern Louisiana. Then LSU will be there on the 17th for that one. East Tennessee State and then Kentucky. They get 4 home games after this. But then they've got a tough stretch in October when Terry Bowden's team will go to Mississippi State and Florida 2 straight weekends.
Now all of a sudden, Bob, the clock becomes important for the other team, for Auburn. They've got 1 minute 16 seconds left. They're going to get the ball, should get the ball at least at the 40-yard line. They're going to punt this ball in the safety position. They should get the ball on the 40-yard line. They got plenty of time to go down and score.
And the Ole Miss schedule that has them on the road for a couple of weeks after they open with their first 2 here. Galicchio will punt it from his own 20. Good looking kick. Hangs up. Comes down at the 36. Thomas Bailey for Auburn. Wow. He took some licks. He went forward, backward, and then managed to gain a yard or 2.
And now if you're Terry Bowden, do you just sit on the ball, 1:10 left? You got enough time. You pick up a couple first downs. You're in field goal position.
Well, there may be a couple of situations in the years to come where Terry will go for it in this situation because he's got a young redshirt quarterback on the way by the name of Damian Craig, who can do a lot of things. Runs a 4.4 40, can throw the ball, makes exciting things happen. You get Damian out there in situations like this in years to come. You may be seeing those Tigers doing all sorts of things. Patrick Nix will pitch it. There's a fumble. And getting it back were the Tigers' very lucky Stephen Davis. There was an Ole Miss player on the corner trying to contain, but not able to reach the football.
Watch this toss. This could have been devastating for Auburn. Lost the football. Look at it come on. It never got the handle on it, and it bounces right up. Good eyesight, though, to keep it in that view, get back on that football. I think Terry Bowden just said, whoo, man, I dodged one there. Let me take this headset off, and let's get in the locker room.
Yeah, and that was a simple play. 2nd down and 9. Clock inside 30 seconds. Time to kneel on it.
Yeah.
And be content with that 16-3 lead. Their defense really was responsible for leading up to 9 of the 16 points. They got a fumble recovery, then their first touchdown, and then the safety with 1:16 remaining in the first half. That'll do it. So after the 11-0 season, Auburn will lead 16-3 at the half of their 1994 season opener. Let's check in downstairs with Bob Kessling.
Okay, Bob, the Tigers heading off to the locker room. Terry Bowden, the coach of the Tigers, going to join us. Coach, give us your thoughts on the first half. How's your team play?
Both teams turned the ball over, but our defense is the difference right now. They wouldn't have any points. Our defense right now is the deciding factor.
What about Patrick Nix? You pleased with this point?
Yeah, we made a couple of throws that were a little bit off, but I've still got a lot of confidence in. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Terry Bowden and his team going to the locker room, leading Ole Miss here at halftime, 14-3. Back with 16-3, actually. Halftime activities from Oxford, and we'll continue on the SEC Game of the Week in just a moment.
The Lee Apparel SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Lee Apparel, maker of regular, relaxed, and easy-fit jeans and casual pants. Lee is the brand that fits. By Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the nationwide agent nearest you. By BC Powder. No matter where you're hurting, nothing works faster than BC Powder. And by your Southeast Mercury dealers, who invite you to take a good look at a whole new mystique about the South. The new Mercury Mystique, on sale September 29th.
Suddenly, I was scared, angry. But later I realized how lucky we were to be with Nationwide Insurance.
The robbery really devastated Don's family. Obviously, I got one of our claims people involved right away.
They were very supportive. They wrote us in advance and promised to get everything back to the way it was.
Being there and getting their life back to normal, that's what mattered most.
Nationwide is on your side.
Problem. You notice your paint is chipping a bit. Solution? Go to Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse, because Lowe's knows you want an incredible selection of colors and everything else you need. All the best brand names, including 100% acrylic severe weather paint, guaranteed for 15 years, and like everything Lowe's sells, at the guaranteed lowest price. So how do you protect your home? Lowe's, because Lowe's knows paint.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be bolder and bolder. It's smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
We all know the friendly BP card. Loyal, helpful, but does it earn you free gasoline? Well, now it does. Your new BP card automatically rebates 3% of every BP gasoline purchase toward free BP gasoline. And your new BP card is also a Visa, with every Visa purchase earning you more free gasoline, up to $300 worth a year, and no annual fee. No other card performs like this. Look for the new BP Visa. BP, on the move.
Welcome back to Oxford, Mississippi, where the Ole Miss Rebels are trailing the Auburn Tigers at halftime by a score of 16-3. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Kessling, and welcome to Vaught Hemingway Stadium on a gorgeous day for football at our first game of the year in the Southeastern Conference, as the race to the title game in Atlanta has begun this afternoon. Each week here on our SEC Game of the Week, we're going to take a look at some of the top plays of the conference. Of course, this is the first game of the year, so now time for our Hardee's Play of the Year from last year.
Let's take a look at our Hardee's SEC Play of the Year. In last year's Alabama-Auburn clash, quarterback Stan White gets knocked out of the game in the third quarter due to a knee injury, leaving backup quarterback Patrick Nix to come in cold off the bench for a critical 4th and 15 play. The sophomore looked as poised as a starter as Auburn's undefeated season was on the line. Nix looks deep and finds Frank Sanders, who makes a spectacular leaping catch and dives for a touchdown. Let's take another look. Nix throws a dart, and Sanders does the rest. And that's our Hardee's SEC Play of the Year.
One of the great plays of all last season. Of course, Patrick Nix out trying to do some more big plays today for his Auburn Tigers. Also, we will take a look at the Player of the Week of the SEC. So let's look last year at the SEC Player of the Year, brought to you by Molson Ice.
Now it's time for our Molson Ice SEC Player of the Year. Will any player be missed more than Tennessee quarterback Heath Shuler? The junior from Bryson City, North Carolina, was runner-up to Florida State's Charlie Ward in last year's Heisman race. Shuler's size, strength, and mobility helped him become the first quarterback taken in this year's NFL draft. The Vols quarterback threw for 25 touchdowns with an incredible completion rate of 65%. Knoxville won't be the same without Heath Shuler, our Molson Ice SEC Player of the Year.
That was a tough pick because there were 6 players of the Southeastern Conference drafted in the first round. The pride of the South, the Ole Miss Marching Band, performing here at halftime. The Rebels trailing Auburn 16-3, and we will continue with our SEC Game of the Week from Oxford, Mississippi in just a moment.
And if your license plate number is 039EYC, call within 30 seconds to win $100,000. That's right. Call 555-2445 now, and that money is all yours. We're waiting, but you better hurry. There's only 20 seconds left. Call 555-2445 now. Hurry. Boy, 100 grand on the line and only seconds left to claim it.
Need a little more room in your jeans?
3, 2, 1. Aww.
Try Lee, the brand that fits.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it the number of ways it finds to protect you and your passengers? Its confident feel on the road? Or the fact that we improved it over 50 ways to make it the best Taurus ever? Whatever the reasons, you've made Ford Taurus the best-selling car in America. Again.
Auburn University, making a positive difference in the qualities of research, instruction, and outreach in the Southeast and beyond. Through these 3 critical missions, Auburn University provides the leadership needed for a world that is changing fast. Our commitment to tap the potential that technology is unleashing, to make a difference, and to do the job right. At Auburn University, we're ready for the next generation.
The University of Mississippi was one of the first public universities in the nation to offer engineering education, and the first in the South to hire a woman faculty member. Its medical center surgeons performed the world's first lung and heart transplants in man, and education faculty helped launch the nation's Head Start program. Ole Miss ranked 7th among the nation's public universities with its production of 23 Rhodes Scholars. The University of Mississippi, educational excellence and leadership for the 21st century.
Halftime activities continue in Oxford as the Auburn Tigers look for their 12th straight win. In good shape at halftime, at least. They're on top of the Ole Miss Rebels by a score of 16-3. Of course, we will outline and bring you all the stories on the field in the Southeastern Conference all season, but there are many stories off the field. And here's one of those involving a player on the Ole Miss team.
Your local Southeast Mercury dealer presents this mystique moment. There have been many moments in Alundis Bryce's young life that have helped define his character. His spectacular plays have helped establish him as one of the best defensive backs in the nation. His concern and dedication to helping kids around Oxford. Yet in the spring of '92, he was the one needing the help.
Things wasn't going so good, so I decided to leave after a couple of things happened at home with depression with my mom and suicide of my uncle. And I started going into depression, so things just turned around and I just left. I just withdrew in the spring.
Alundis went back to his home in Brookhaven, Mississippi, where he was a 2-sport star in high school. He hoped to find the answers at home as he not only worked and cared for his mother, but he also cared for himself.
When I went home, I sat around for a couple of weeks and then decided I wanted to go to work somewhere, at least to try to help my mom out with some of the bills, so I got a job at Winn-Dixie's.
By doing this, it made him grow up a whole lot. And he got in touch with his feelings. He realized that we couldn't go on grieving as we were, and my brother wouldn't have wanted him to do this. So he got in touch with Coach Brewer. We talked, and he went back. And that was one of the best moves he could have ever made.
It also turned out to be a great move for Ole Miss as he quickly showed that he was mentally and physically ready to play football. He and Alabama All-American Antonio Langham tied for the SEC lead in interceptions last year, and Alundis was named to the first-team All-Conference. But the senior defensive back earned a greater honor this spring when he received the Chucky Mullins Courage Award, an award that has very special meaning to Alundis.
He didn't let anything get him down. You know, being in the position that he was in, he kept his eyes on God and his heart on his friends. So that's a person that you have to love. And to wear a jersey that represents him is something that's so unreal that I can't even explain. I'm going to try to fulfill my duties of making him look the best that he can through me.
This Mystique moment was brought to you by your local Southeast Mercury dealer, who invites you to test drive the all-new Mercury Mystique on sale September the 29th. And, of course, Bryce off to a good start, had an interception in the first half, and that really accounted for the 3 points that Ole Miss has been able to put on the scoreboard. Halftime activities winding down. Both teams getting set to come back onto the field. We'll check scores around the country, but first, a message from your local SEC station.
Capital Motor Company guarantees you the lowest prices in Alabama. In fact, Capital Motor Company will beat any other car dealer's price by $500. Any dealer anywhere in the state. If Capital Motor Company, for some unknown reason, can't beat their deal, they'll give you free accommodations for 2 at the beautiful new Marriott Resort in Daytona Beach. 3 days and 2 nights in the heart of the world's most famous beach. Look for the dealer with the bright red roof. Capital Motor Company, your Oldsmobile, GMC Truck, Suzuki, Isuzu dealer on the Eastern Bypass.
If you're dragging yourself home at the end of the day, you need a beauty rest. A beauty rest by Simmons recharges you with independent pocketed coils, energized to firmly support every inch of your body. Nothing makes your day like a beauty rest night.
Phil, boy, do you need a beauty rest.
Save up to 50% during the August sale at Bishop Parker. Free bed frame with any beauty rest set.
Drop in and have coffee and donuts with us Monday morning from 8 to 9 because all 3 Azars men's stores are sweeping out all our summer merchandise at fantastic savings. Shop from 8 to 12 for half-price savings on a large group of sport coats, shirts, and dress pants, and our entire stock of walk shorts and swimwear. Don't miss the final half-price sweep at Azars.
Did you tell them Monday, Labor Day, for 4 hours?
Yes, and I told them you're bringing the donuts.
You were right about that, Coach.
Are you sure you got it?
Roll film.
Take 26.
We may have different ideas about football, but we all agree on the best lumber for building outdoors. Cause nothing beats Osmo's pressure-treated pine from Great Southern Wood.
It's clean, straight, and backed by a lifetime guarantee.
You're kind about that, Roach.
Cut.
Not again.
So remember, if it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
You're right about that, Coach.
Halftime at Ole Miss. Auburn leads the Rebels by a score of 16-3. Now time to check other scores around the nation on the Jefferson Pilot scoreboard. Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams. Texas and Pittsburgh getting started. Second half, it's the Longhorns leading Johnny Major's crew 21-16. And the second, it is Clemson leading Furman 10-3. That's the debut for Tommy West as the head coach of the Tigers. Duke on top of Maryland 28-3 as they start third quarter action. Ball State trying to upset West Virginia in the second, 7-0. And those are scores from around the country. We'll keep you updated on other activities throughout the course of the second half. And to call the second half for you, let's go back upstairs to Bob Carpenter and Dave Rowe.
All right, Bob Kessling, thank you very much. And the old Nittany Lion from Penn State sitting next to me here. We'll keep track of them throughout the season as well. But this first half, I think Terry Bowden said it best, Dave. The defense of Auburn really set the tone. Right now, Ole Miss has 4 total yards the entire first half.
Well, I think the thing they have to be happy about is they're only down by 13 points because they should be way out of this football game. They're still in it. What Nelson has got to do is got to get a little bit more composure in the quarterback situation in the pocket. He's got to look downfield a little bit. They just have got nothing going on offense right now, and they're lucky to be in the football game.
And, of course, Jolie Dunn prides his defense on its tenacity, it's being in shape, and they will need every bit of that in the second half. They've been out there an awful long time.
Yeah, they're going to need a third quarter like they played last year when they didn't allow any touchdowns to get back in this. They're going to probably need a break. They need a drive. They need some offensive continuity, but they're back in it. Believe it or not, they're not that far out. Now, what they're doing at a halftime is they're sitting in there. They're broken it down, offense, defense. The lines are breaking down. Everybody's talking about what they're doing right, what's going wrong and how they can make the corrections. And I think you'll see a big difference in the second half.
One of the things Joe Lee Dunn feared early was a turnover or a big play by Auburn. And he had a fumble. It led to Patrick Nix and company capping a 24-yard drive that went 8 plays, and they had the lead. And then it was Tim Mons with a 48-yard field goal. It would have gone over from 60. It was 7-3. And then Jesse McCovery got a nice pass to score.
Yeah, this was that tight end sneak where the play action went against the grain in the court, and the tight end came off, and that got it up to 14-3.
And in the second quarter, Mark Smith of Ole Miss really made a mental mistake. He had nowhere to go. This play lost 13 yards for that Auburn safety.
Fortunately, that happened at the end of the first half, because if that had happened in the middle, that's a devastating play. That takes all the momentum out of it. But look
and a look at our Ford halftime stats shows that Ole Miss has minus 23 rushing. The passing yards, all Nix and Auburn at this point, and the total yards really no contest. Turnovers have played a factor, and penalties have, 6 of them against the home team, and about 9.5 minutes extra possession time by the visitors. And when you're Terry Bowden, you're looking at going 11-0. Your next 4 games are all at home. He couldn't really ask for a better first half in the season opener away from home.
Absolutely. A lot of things against him in this situation. Big crowd here. Everyone's behind Ole Miss. He comes into a stadium where there's a tremendous rivalry, but his team has responded very well. They picked it right up where they were last year, and I think they feel they have something to prove. They were 11-0 last year. Didn't get any postseason bowls or anything like that. This year they say, hey, we may be able to go 11-0 again.
Well, they can't go to a bowl or win the SEC championship outright, at least on paper, but they can do it again, and they've showed us some great talent. Like last year's game, they've outplayed Ole Miss, but the score is still relatively close. Second half coming up from Oxford.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence. The experience to get the job done right and a reputation for quality. Having what you need on hand, putting the parts together for the best possible performance. Being in the pros takes a special brand of confidence, and for professionally trained technicians, that confidence is CarQuest. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
The Southeastern Conference enjoys a rich tradition of excellence in both academic and athletic endeavors. A major reason for the success of the SEC is our partnership with some of America's top corporations. As corporation sponsors, these businesses help fund SEC youth clinics, drug education programs, and are the official presenters of each of the men and women's conference championships. The Southeastern Conference is proud to be associated with these companies, which are making a positive contribution to intercollegiate athletics.
The strength of the Southeastern Conference is legendary. 9 national titles in 1 year. The nation's top football attendance with nearly 5 million fans and more than $23 million in scholarships. At First Alabama and Regions Bank, we salute the strength of the SEC. Because whether it's in athletics or banking, we know that strength means success.
First Alabama and Regions, official banks of the SEC championships.
Toyota's summer clearance is this Labor Day weekend only.
Here it is, come and get it.
Right now, get special 2.9% financing when you buy any new Camry. 2.9%. Or lease Camry for $229 a month with automatic transmission, dual airbags, air conditioning, AM/FM cassette, cruise control, power steering, power windows and locks. Hurry this Labor Day weekend.
Hurry, 'cause it's going by.
Toyota's nationwide clearance. It all ends Monday night.
Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of the Lee Apparel SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Lee Apparel, maker of regular, relaxed, and easy-fit jeans and casual pants. Lee is the brand that fits. By the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams. By Molson Ice, from Canada, the land where ice was born. By Hardee's, a proud sponsor of the Southeastern Conference. And by the all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
Welcome back to Oxford, Mississippi. A big task faces the home team in the second half. They're down to the Auburn Tigers by a score of 16-3. Ole Miss will have the football. You may remember they did defer at the start of the game to get that defense out there. They set a good tone early, but a turnover hurt, and the Tigers have gotten it done since then. Josh Nelson, 6'3", 200 junior from La Habra Heights, California. Played at Fullerton College last year, and in 2 years threw for better than 3,500 yards. He's the first quarterback in modern Ole Miss history to start the first game he's been suited up for. A rather forgettable experience so far with 4 total yards. Let's check in downstairs. Bob Kessling.
Coach, what'd you tell your team at halftime?
Well, it's the same thing it was last year. It was 16-0 going into the fourth quarter, and if they'd have just believed, we would have had a chance to win the ball game. And I still feel like we got a chance if we play great defense the second half, and we just got to get some type of offense going. We just are awful on the field right now offensively. It looks like we've never played before.
Can you change anything offensively?
I hope so. If we don't, we're going to be in for a long second half.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Joe Lee Dunn trying to get his team, get some points on the board against this very good Auburn team.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Bob. Very good is how Terry Bowden's team has looked so far. And again, they play on the road here, and then they go home for 4 in a row. Northeast Louisiana next week. We'll be there when the LSU Bayou Bengals will visit. Fighting Tigers and the Tigers get together on September 17th. And the big question is, how will they follow up the undefeated season? Now, Dave, I don't know how we relate 1993 back to 1900 and 1904, but at least in 1357 and the seasons to follow, they did very well.
Yeah, the one on the left, of course, is what they did that year. The one on the right is what they did the following year. You see Bowden's team 11-0, 93. What are they going to do in 94? That's still the question mark. But I think they picked it up right where they left off last season. They are playing excellent football.
They will have to kick it. Ole Miss will have the possession. 3 men back there to Boris Fisher, Malika Griffin, Dew Innocent making an appearance back there. And will we see Roel Preston at split end here in the second half? Their leading returning receiver. Matt Hawkins lets it fly into the end zone. And Malika Griffin doesn't want any part of it. 20-yard line is where the Rebels will start, and that's been about their average starting field position today. I'd like to welcome some new folks to our SEC Jefferson Pilot crew. We have Rob Reichley producing and Ken Dennis directing, Melinda Mazo, our associate director, and of course our returnees. We cannot look past Mike Voigt, Scott Snyder, and Carol Van Norman, back with us again for the 3rd straight year, and all the other great folks who help us travel around the SEC and bring you the best conference in college football. 1st and 10 at the 20. Play action for Nelson, who rolls right. Too tall to the sideline to Boris Fisher, the man he was looking for.
Now you see the difference. There's the adjustments that they make, Bob, at halftime. They've decided that they are not able to run the football. They've got negative yardage. And what they're doing is they're coming out with a single back. This is a pass formation. Look at the line splits right there. Take big line splits, get those linemen out, and let's see what Nelson can do. I believe that's what Joe Lee Dunn has said. Let's see if he can throw the football. Let's see if he can lead us down the field. But we're probably going to have to do it passing.
Single back on 2nd and 10. Nelson dances away from one tackler, finds a man, and some yardage up the middle on some fancy footwork by Lee May Thomas. He's out of Delhi, Louisiana, a 5'10 junior who's caught 12 balls in 2 years, but they love the way he runs after he catches.
Watch the handling of the pressure here. Good pressure up the middle. Nelson just steps around it. That's what they want him to do at quarterback. He's a pocket passer. He's not a scrambler. Doesn't have that great blazing speed or that athletic talent to juke people. But let him sit in that pocket, step up, and find his wide receivers.
First down at the 33. Draw play. Coming out to the near side, Mark Smith. And that one will be out to about the 37, so about a 4-yard gain. It took Chris Schelling, the boundary cornerback, who starts his 23rd consecutive game for the Tigers, to make the stop.
Well, Bob, one of the things that happens in the halftime locker room, and people always wonder, what does the coach say? You're down by 13 or 16 to 3, 13 points. Does he yell, scream? There's no yelling and screaming in the locker room. Oh, you might come out and make a stand or a statement, but basically it's a teaching time.
2nd down and 6. Across the middle, a quick pop. Tackle made there quickly by Ken Elvis, number 9 on Taboris Fisher, number 10. And how about that? The Rebels move the chains again.
And that was a good read that time by Josh Nelson. What he read was a backer up in the line, looked like a blitz. He backed out instead of turning and running back, backed out, looked downfield, saw his little short receiver in a short pattern, and dumped the ball to him for a first down.
So a minute into the second half, Ole Miss has more first downs than they had all afternoon. He's down at the 44, and a quick opener. Good looking play for Mark Smith. Inside the 35, down to the 29. And Ken Elvis had to pull him down on the jersey grab from behind. A 27-yard gain.
What an effort there. Watch the dancing down the line. Chris Schelling misses the tackle in there. And then he just keeps on. Look, it's down the line. Get that positive yardage. Excellent effort.
Only started 3 games last year, did Mark Smith. They had Jeremy Beasley back there at fullback. 1st and 10 at the 29. He's the single back. Fake to it. Nelson shovels ahead, and that's Taboris Fisher. Not much on the play, maybe a yard or two, but it sure was exciting.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a pass like that. Watch this. It looks like it's going to be a boot reverse. All of a sudden, there's that big lineman. He tosses it underneath. Good recovery there by Auburn to stop the play for a very little gain.
Only 1, 2nd down and 9. But the Rebels offensively starting to create some excitement today for the first time.
Yeah, you see great adjustments that were made at halftime.
Also with a straight drop. Lets him come. Left side, he's got number 1 over there. And all the way down is...
That's Preston.
Yeah, that's Preston Roel. Roel Preston, the 5'11 senior who did not play in the first half because of a disciplinary factor. And here he is.
This is a slip screen where the back, all he does is just comes right back to get the football on the line, waits for those linemen to get out and get that block. And that may have been what was missing in that first half. They didn't have Preston downfield. 35 catches last year. That's a lot to take out of your offensive scheme.
He averaged 13 yards a catch last season. First down at the 18. And straight ahead. Inside the 5. And Mark Smith is into the end zone. How about that for a quick drive?
What a series.
2.5 minutes.
Well, we talked about those halftime adjustments. You can see they're playing, they're running the ball. When they have to, they're passing the ball. That's a little screen right in the middle. At 5'9", kind of gets lost in the pile there, but what an effort by Mark Smith. And sees that goal line and dives across, but more importantly, an 80-yard drive. They could put nothing together in the first half, and now they put an 80-yard drive together.
In 2:27, they went 80% of the field, only 8 plays. And suddenly Ole Miss, as Tim Monts converts the point after, is right back in the game.
And if your license plate number is 039EYC, call within 30 seconds to win $100,000. That's right. Call 555-2445 now, and that money is all yours. We're waiting, but you better hurry. There's only 20 seconds left. Call 555-2445 now. Hurry. Boy, 100 grand on the line and only seconds left to claim it.
Need a little more room in your jeans?
3, 2, 1. Aww.
Try Lee, the brand that fits.
Track says the latest and best Mustang hits the ground running. Auto Week says the all-new interior is nothing short of a design triumph. Motor Trend says its first-class styling, dynamics, and performance make it the most significant new American car this year. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
Okay, these guys are the party people. I mean, look at them. They are hungry. So then these guys here, they're the host team. They send this guy over here to Hardee's for fresh fried chicken. It's the perfect play. Hardee's chicken deal is just $5.99. 8 pieces of chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. Okay, watch the replay. 8 pieces of Hardee's chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. So when these guys come rushing in, here's all this chicken to tackle. When you toss a party, make the big play. Have plenty of Hardee's fried chicken to pass around.
Ole Miss and its crowd because of Mark Smith's reception on the screen and a great block, which we'll see in a minute. Right back in the game, 16-10 Auburn. Less than 2.5 minutes into the third quarter. Thomas Bailey, Frank Sanders back to receive the kick of Ronnie Colicchio. This one is into the end zone, right at the goal line with a foot or so to spare. And out to the 22-yard line, maybe, goes Thomas Bailey.
Well, Bob, you talked about great blocks, and you love to give those big offensive linemen credit. Watch 69, James Holcomb here. It's an excellent block there. That's the block that frees him on about the 14-yard line, and then an excellent effort by Mark Smith to get in the end zone, but give some credit to big James Holcomb, 6'2", 300 pounds downfield making a block.
4 yards in the first half, 20 times that on that drive. With Patrick Nix and the Auburn Tigers do to answer. They'll go off the left side and all the way out to the 35-yard line. A first down for Stephen Davis. A late flag, in fact, a couple of them.
Well, I think someone threw down Thomas Bailey. You can't do that. You just can't retaliate when the play is dead. They have a little conference down there to find out, but I think it's going to be on Bailey. Not that he did it.
Dead ball, personal foul against the defense. First down.
That's after the play.
At a 15-yard gain, then they'll tack on a whole bunch more. Early Dunn's offense got things going. 10 yards per play. Less than 2.5 minutes. And Mark Smith on the screen scoring. So suddenly Auburn gets to the Ole Miss side of midfield and only one play, and back in there for the Rebels is Abdul Jackson. Draw play. Davis. And that's down to the 41. They'll get about 8 there as Abdul Jackson makes his 5th tackle of the day right after he checks in. So the Tigers are on the move. Abdul's back in there, Bob Kessling.
We had a chance to talk with Abdul coming back on the field. He just said he banged up the knee a little bit, kind of hyperextended it, but he said it's okay, and he says he's going to go full bore, and the Ole Miss defense really needs him, especially right now.
Stephen Davis is going full bore as well. 16 rushes, 79 yards. He had a 76-yard game as his high last year against the Georgia Bulldogs. He's got the pitch, kicking his way through, but forget it. Getting there in a hurry to trip him up was David McGowan, who's had a big game at right tackle.
I really like the way that Stephen Davis sets up his blockers. Now this is Abdul Jackson, 53. Slide along, stay square in the hole, stay square, get that weight down, dodge that blocker, and get in on the tackle. Can't play it better than that. There's Davis. I like the way he runs. When he runs, you can see he's almost setting up his blockers. He's looking for the defensive player to commit, and then he takes the side where his blocker's got the best angle.
He's a junior out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, 6'2", 223. Tigers will have a first down at the Ole Miss 39. Boy, that penalty really hurt. Play action, up top over the middle. Intended receiver was Andy Fuller, the tight end, who caught the first pass of the game. Antonio Spanner was right there at free safety, who's celebrating his 22nd birthday today. And he was looking for a little gift-wrapped pick, but he couldn't get it.
Well, he had a big hand in his face. Number 90, Norman Hand. 6'3", 310. I liked what they said about him. Jolie said, I want him to be 300 pounds. I want more intensity. I want better condition. I want him to get lower. He's going to be a whale of a football player for us this year.
2nd and 10. Right across the middle. And a little short pattern run underneath there by Thomas Bailey. Derek Jones from right corner, the sophomore from Woodruff, South Carolina, there to get him. And next Saturday, the Lee Apparel SEC game of the week will feature defending Western champ Alabama. The Vanderbilt Commodores are coming to Tuscaloosa. We'll bring you the action at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central on most of these SEC stations. Bama is in Birmingham today playing UT Chattanooga. Vanderbilt is at home to take on Wake Forest of the ACC. 3rd and 7 at the 36. And out to the left flat. The ball was too tall. Good coverage in the corner by Derek Jones on Frank Sanders. And the Ole Miss defense comes up big after that huge penalty.
That's what your defense has to do. They have got to take a stand. They've got to stop them. They stop them at this position. They've got to punt the football instead of getting the field goal try. So it was a big series. Their defense has proved, Ole Miss's defense, I should say, has proved that they can play in this football game. And if their offense can take the football like they did last series, Auburn's going to have to tighten it up.
To Boris Fisher back. Terry Daniel looking to nail the Rebels back deep in their own defensive end. Very high kick. It had such a spiral on it, it carried right into the end zone. So the Ole Miss defense does the job. And the Rebels are back on the field against the favorite Auburn Tigers, who were number 11 in the preseason poll. They checked in at number 12 this week. Boy, that had to rankle a few folks down there, right behind guess who? Alabama.
Yeah.
After they beat Bama last year. Now, how does that make sense? It's all speculation right now. As of today, the results are what count. And an Auburn wall takes care of the Ole Miss ball carrier right there. SEC, of course, well represented in the preseason poll. Auburn at 11. Of course, many thought Florida would be the best team in the nation. Auburn was not rated in the coaches poll because of last year's probation. Bama, Tennessee in the top 15, and then Georgia did sneak into the coaches poll. A lot of folks expect Eric Zier to have a big senior season for Ray Goff in Athens. 2nd and 9 at the 21. Nelson waiting, hitting his man out on the wing. Due Innocent. That's the first down out over the 30. Innocent didn't play last year because of academics, but he did plenty before that. He ran the football for better than 540 yards his first 2 years.
That sounded like booze, but I think it was Dew.
You got it.
Good angle here to the corner to pick up the first down yardage. That was a nice play. Swing him out of the backfield. They had a broken coverage, and he picks up the 10, 12 yards.
Dew's out of Pompano Beach, a former All-American at Eli High School. 1st and 10 at the 34. Out to this side and falling on the pattern. Unable to get out there was Boris Fisher. He made his cut, and the ball was put in the air just at the right time, but the receiver fell down.
Well, if Roel Preston has anything to say, number one, he's going to come back and say to the quarterback, wow, was I open? If you could have just taken another second, I was on a fly pattern down the sideline. Throw it to me. I was wide open.
But the big story of this third quarter is the Ole Miss offense. Nelson now 12 of 16. Looks like he survived that first half of Division I. Now he feels much more comfortable. You can't say that about Dew Innocent, though. He was wrapped up by Jason Miska, the middle linebacker out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, who shares playing time with Derek Robinson in the middle for defensive coordinator Wayne Hall.
Well, that Auburn front's not giving anything. Look at Miska step right up. That's what you want your linebacker to do. Come up there where that seam is. Let him sit in there square. They didn't pick up an inch on that play.
Now the Rebels faced with a 3rd and 8 from the 36. Single back set. Couple of wide receivers to the left. Nelson looking that way. Now going right up the sideline. Man open. Too tall for Joe Woods. That could have been 6.
Oh, boy. And when you're at a quarterback, you turn around, and he's got a lot of composure. You got to give him credit, but that's the one. Nelson had a lot of pressure, but this is the one if you want one more second because he was wide open. Watch that. Gets rid of the ball, and down he goes. But on the tail end of that play, he could have just eased up a little bit. The tail end of that play, Joe Woods, was 3 yards. Look at that, 3 yards ahead of the defender.
He had beaten Chris Schelling. And here's the kick coming from Lonnie Colicchio. A low line drive. It'll spin to the near side. Now the Rebels hope for a couple more yards in the bounce. It'll be down just inside the 30. No return by Thomas Bailey on the 35-yard kick.
I think I see a flag on the play.
Yeah, there's a flag laying at the 36-yard line with 8:19 to go in the third quarter.
When that's thrown so far away from where the kick was on the near sideline. It's thrown all the way across the field.
We have a dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team. First down.
That's the third personal foul against Ole Miss today.
Now what that play is the ball was kicked away, and when you're coming down covering or you're returning the football, neither one can take a free shot at each other.
8:19 to go. Penalties have been big, but it's still very close. Auburn on top by 6. We're back after a word from your local station.
With 20 improvements, the new 1994 Lexus ES now has a lot more in common with the Lexus LS. Like dual airbags, a multi-adjustable passenger seat, aluminum engine technology, and an electronically controlled transmission with intelligence. And you'll find that even the pricing reflects some of our best thinking. At Reinhardt Lexus in Montgomery.
Your target is beautiful, functional offices, so you want the biggest selection of office furniture and accessories in Central Alabama. 30,000 square feet of famous brands like Steelcase, Stowe Davis, and Hahn. You want every price range and every style to choose from. Professional planners to help you utilize space, and custom leasing or financing that fits your budget. Score a bullseye at Kaiser Office Works, on target for the 90s. Spruce Street, just off I-85.
I bought my car new in 1970. I drove a hockey team a 190-mile round trip 3 times a week.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
I took good care of it. And when I reached 300,000, I thought, I've got to be a pretty good car.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer.
At 600,000, I thought, maybe it could be the Haviland.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
Hey, Junior, got a job for you.
A job,
I want
Clyde?
you to take this broom and tidy up around here at Amos home.
Tidy up? How come?
Because we like to keep the place clean as a preacher's shirt here at Amos's.
You want me to kick the tires too, Clyde?
We ain't selling cars, Junior. We selling homes here at Amos's.
Oh, yeah.
See Amos Homes on Highway 29 in Opelika.
Sometimes I think the butter done slipped off Junior's biscuit.
Auburn on top 16-10. Ole Miss has just gotten another penalty away from the football on the punt. Antonio Bonner apparently was roughing up an Auburn player, and that was the flag. Jolie Dung was not at all happy with the officials for the call, nor his players. Remember, there's the new fighting penalty in the Southeastern Conference and in college football. If you get into a fight, you can get thrown out of the game. So that's one thing Jolie Dunn and Terry Bowden very concerned about now.
Yeah, and Bob Kessling, if you get thrown out in the second half of a game, you miss the first half of the following game, and that counts for non-conference games and everything. We have flags on the field
Dead
again.
ball, false start on the offensive line.
Dick Burleson, the referee, has been busy, and officials all over the country busy with new rules for 1994. Ejections and suspensions for fighting, and of course that offensive pass interference will be interesting, Dave.
Yeah, that really is a different rule this year. That's the offensive pass interference, where the receiver doesn't have the right to interfere on a, well, actually it's on an uncatchable ball. If it's a catchable ball, it's pass interference.
1st and 15 at the 40. And loose to the near side is Stephen Davis. He's got a first down inside the 45 of Ole Miss. You saw the glove stickiness test on our graphic as well. They have a little sticker on players' gloves if they are legal to be played with.
Well, that fighting rule can, you realize, think about this, Bob. You have a team that fights in the second half. You start a fight that's right near your bench, and your guys get up and run over there. They're all out of next week's game. So you could be playing with half your team sitting in the stands the following week. It's a very, very critical rule.
1st and 10 at the 44. Pitch to the left side. Davis again cuts it up. He's down to about the 37 of Ole Miss, and he'll get about 7 yards on that play.
Well, I'll tell you how much of a rule how stringent that rule is. Terry Bowden actually practiced a fight. He had a staged fight during one of his practices. He said he got one of his first-team players and one of his backup players. He said, listen, I want you to start a fight and see if anybody joins in. They actually started a knockdown, drag-out fight there. Everybody stayed back. He said, good, guys. And all of a sudden, they just popped up and say, hey, Coach, okay, how's that? Pretty good?
Yeah. Hey, Stephen Davis, pretty good, too.
Yes.
19 rushes, 104 yards today. Other than 5 yards a carry. Nix out to the left side. He was a little off balance before he threw it. Thomas Bailey had no way to catch that one. 3rd and 4 coming up with 7:07 to go in the 3rd quarter. Patrick Nix has put it up 17 times. Josh Nelson, 12 of 16 for 89 yards. So Josh Nelson moving the ball great on that 80-yard touchdown drive has really turned his afternoon around.
Well, this is where Ole Miss put that defensive stand last time and made them punch the ball away. They need another one.
On the 3rd down play, Davis out to the right side. Does he have room? He's taken down at the 33, and he's got the 1st down.
Oh, what a great cut by Davis. Comes along the line. There's nothing there to go outside. He was just going to run out of bounds. He's on a dead run trying to get to the outside corner. You can see the 4 starting to come up. He says, oops, I'm not going to make it there. He holds up and again comes back inside and just gets the 1st down. Again, linebackers coming up underneath. But here, again, down the line, stops right there. There's a little seam going back in. That's a heads-up play.
Got away from Sidney Carmichael, the defensive end. Got the 1st down. It's 1st down at the 34. Straight ahead this time. This guy is a horse. Tracking it down for about 6 more yards. Kyle Wicker, a sophomore out of Liberty, Mississippi, one of the 2 Wicker brothers on this Ole Miss defense, in on the stop.
On this hole, I think Bob Kessling could have run through it. Watch how it opens up here on the back side. Of course, he doesn't run quite like that, but there was a whale of a hole there.
Bob's time in the 40, slightly larger than that of Stephen Davis. 2nd down and 5. Auburn with a grinded-out drive in progress here. Clock down to 5:50, 3rd quarter. Quick get. Harold Morrow, the ball carrier. And he actually did well to get any yardage out of that at all. He was met almost as he received the handoff.
Bob, this is what you call a take-control drive. Your offense has been out there. They haven't been able to do a whole lot. You're leading in the football game, so you say, it's almost like the old coach saying, let's go back to the basics. Let's run power football. Let's do what we do best. Eat up the clock, drive the football down, and get some points, and take the momentum away from the defense.
Stephen Davis was not in on that last play, but he's back. 3rd and 2. They're 8 of 15. Will they call number 48? Yeah, I guess so. He's inside the 20, inside the 10, and down to the 7-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers as Davis gains 20, and we have an injured Tiger on the field. It looks like the tight guard, Leonard Thomas.
Again, put that football away. I thought he almost lost it here when he came across. See him almost look back. It looked like he almost bobbled the football, but Davis holds on for that 1st down inside the 10-yard line.
That's Leonard Thomas.
This may be one of those cramped things.
Sophomore out of Columbus, Georgia.
No, I think it's ankle.
High school teammate of the freshman that backs him up, DeMarcus Curry.
Well, looking at another angle. Watch Stephen Davis set up his blockers, get outside, runs under control now. Just explode. Set up that blocker. See, sets up that blocker, cuts back again. He puts the ball away. You can't play better than that. .279 Leonard Thomas.
And a hand from his teammate, Stephen Davis, who's now averaging 6 yards a carry. Davis averaged 5.5 last year when he ran it 87 times for nearly 500 yards. 16-10 here. Texas continues to lead. Johnny Majors and Pitt. Third quarter now. Clemson by 10 over Furman. And
there's
Duke,
a shocker.
they are all over Maryland, 35-16. For the latest scores, Jefferson Pilot scoreline 1-900-267-5757. $1 a minute. And all you youngsters, please get your parents' permission before you dial us in. First and goal at the 7. Pitch, Davis cuts it up, and he's inside the 5. Maybe as far as about the 3.5-yard line.
Again, positive yardage. I like the way he cuts back. That shows that he's got his eyes wide open, because oftentimes there's a hole that develops on the backside of a play, and it's caused by the linebackers and linemen overrunning the play. And if you look and you got your eyes open, you can cut back and pick up positive yardage, and that's what he did in that situation.
Well, Dave, I think we can see how he gained 4,500 on the ground in high school. I mean, who could tackle this guy at the high school level? 2 tight ends on 2nd and 4. Davis again, right side, and that is a touchdown for the Auburn Tigers. He got in, and that drive belonged to number 48.
A good decision to cut up underneath. We can see it here on the corner. What Davis does, number 48, is he cuts back inside. Sees that little seam, and there's no one that gets up. Now, Bryce comes up, tries to get him, but you're not going to arm tackle someone that's 6'2", 225 pounds. Good kick out there by the offensive guard. I think that was Jason Taylor.
Stephen Davis gained 61 yards on that drive. And now they're up by 12, so they'll go for 2 to try to make it a 14-point lead. Shotgun. Nix looking right side. He's got Malcolm, but he's got nowhere to go, and he stopped short. Good containment by 3 Rebels, and that will keep the score 22-10. But Stephen Davis, the story of that drive, and it's Auburn by 12, 4:06 to go, third quarter.
It's the only truck to have ever bowled 300. And the only truck to catch a world's record trout. Now, Ford Ranger is the only truck ranked by J.D. Power and Associates as best compact pickup in initial quality, foreign or domestic. Ford Ranger, what else would you expect from the only truck to make a hole-in-one?
Trouble getting into your jeans? Try Relax Fit Jeans from Lee.
Okay, these guys are the party people. I mean, look at them. They are hungry. So then these guys here, they're the host team. They send this guy over here to Hardee's for fresh fried chicken. It's the perfect play. Hardee's chicken deal is just $5.99. 8 pieces of chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. Okay, watch the replay. 8 pieces of Hardee's chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. So when these guys come rushing in, here's all this chicken to tackle. When you toss a party, make the big play. Have plenty of Hardee's fried chicken to pass around.
Auburn gets a 12-point lead on the Stephen Davis 4-yard run. What a drive he had. And And the Auburn fans are feeling good right now. They've got 4 home games coming up, and they lead by 12 here, but a lot of football to go. 4:06 third quarter, and Matt Hawkins lets it go. Into the end zone. There will be no return, and let's check in. Downstairs, Ole Miss getting set for the drive, and here's Bob Kessler.
Bob, it looks like the injury to Leonard Thomas isn't as bad as first feared. Apparently just a sprained ankle, and they are taping it up right now for the big 282-pound sophomore. They're going to let him test it, but they think he'll be able to play on the next series.
Auburn defense and the offensive line doing a good job today. They turn it over to Wayne Hall's 4-3 defense now against this multiple eye offense of Larry Keck, Joe Lee Dunn, and the Ole Miss Rebels. Offense has come alive since halftime. Let's see what they do on this drive. Couple of wide receivers left, single back. Nelson had nothing up the middle, so he scrambles, and he's got a first down.
Yeah, that's that decision they made not to run on that first down, to come down, pull the ball down, pass the football. Nelson does a good job of stepping up in the pocket, and look at the time he has to pass. His pressure's from the backside, so he steps up in the pocket, picks up a lot of yards for the first down.
11 on the carry. How about that scoring drive? Stephen Davis had 61 yards rushing. The drive only covered 55. They had a penalty, so they had to run a few extra plays and a few extra yards. Here's Smith up the middle, but angling to the near sideline. And good yardage on first down. So Ole Miss the last 2 plays getting it done on the ground.
Boy, it was fun for Nelson to come here from California. I read one of his quotes. He said, boy, I have more people in my neighborhood than in this town.
Los Angeles area, Fullerton College.
There you see him looking at that wristband again to pick out the play. They signal like number 7 play. He looks down, the 7th play makes the call.
This is a 2nd and 4. Passing offense, you can do a lot of things with a play like this. And he'll look to throw. And he will escape the sack and then take another one. There's a fumble. Now, was the play whistle dead? It was. Chris Schelling coming up with the hit and the ball, but the play whistled dead.
Well, the call is, does the ground cause the fumble? The ground cannot cause the fumble, but a lot of time here for Nelson now. Get back out there. He fights off that one, but put that football away. There's nowhere to go. But he was evidently down. We can't see it from that angle, but he was down as the ball came out. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think the ball was gone before he hit the ground. Great hit there by Chris Schelling. Rebels get a break to hold on. 3rd and 9. Almost intercepted out there by Anthony Harris. Ball was just not tall enough to get out to DeForest Fisher. It was a little too tall for Harris, the junior strong side linebacker. And the Auburn defense holds.
Now, one thing that they did not want to do, Ole Miss did not want to do, is go 3 and out. Get in there 3 plays and put that pressure back on their defense. Colecchio has really changed their punting game this year, hasn't he?
They were last in the SEC last year at 35 yards a kick. Chris McCardle handled that last year. And Colecchio doesn't hit that one very well. At the 30, taken by Thomas Bailey. And he's got about 10 yards to the near side. Colecchio hasn't really kicked in 2 years. Didn't play last year. Junior college a couple of years ago. 40 yards a kick in Northwest Mississippi. They were the national champs. Join us for a great college football matchup at the Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl December 30th. Send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to the address on the screen. Register to win a trip for 2, including game tickets, hotel, and airfare. The winner will be announced during the SEC Game of the Week, November 26th. You must be 21 years of age or older to enter. Tigers at their own 40. 2:30 before the 4th quarter arrives. Bill Frazier off the left side. I was talking with Mark Womack, the assistant commissioner of the SEC, at halftime, and talking about the recent meetings in Dallas when the Bowl Alliance came to be. And Southeastern Conference is facing some real changes because of that, Dave. The champion of this league may not necessarily end up at the Sugar Bowl anymore. They got a chance to play a Nebraska or a Notre Dame or somebody like that for the national championship. They could end up anywhere from Miami to Tempe.
Well, everybody wants a playoff. It seems that way. No one will come out and say, yes, we want a playoff, but it seems as if most of the people that are important want one.
On 2nd and 7, a drop ball on the near side. Thomas Bailey was thinking about his cut-up field, and he may have also been thinking about Alundis Bryce coming up from behind.
Bob, I think they've got that, we talked about the playoff this last play. Haven't they said that it's about 14 games to get a playoff? Wouldn't it take that long to determine it?
Yeah, that's the problem. Then you have leagues like the SEC with a championship game, automatically a 12th game. The Big 12, which is the Big 8 Southwest Conference Alliance that's coming up in a couple of years, they're talking about a championship game in that league. 3rd down and 7. Nix overthrows Thomas Bailey. That looked like a play where you just stand
Nobody
around.
moved.
Nobody from the offensive line ever moved.
The only person that moved was the center. He just snapped the ball. All the linemen just stood there. Watch this. Joe Lee, I thought Joe Lee came down with this. Good catch, Coach.
Now, Dave, I've heard of the Statue of Liberty play, but that looked like a whole museum full right there.
And what happened is the center thought somebody jumped in the zone, I think, and he just snapped it in a hurry, and none of the offensive linemen had not even started their cadence.
Terry Daniel will kick it to Boris Fisher. Very high-hanging kick at the 14. Fisher will get about 7 yards before a bunch of Tigers jump on him. A 43-yard kick. Darrell Riggins leading the way on the coverage team. Well, it sure helps to have a kicker like Terry Daniel, the All-American of a year ago, who averaged an Auburn record 47 yards a kick. And, of course, Joe Lee Dunn's defense last year and the year before has been outstanding. #1 in the nation in total defense last year, only 13 points a game. And a couple of years ago, they made their presence felt. Back when we were here Thanksgiving weekend against Mississippi State 2 years ago, maybe the best fourth quarter by a defense I've ever seen, when they won the Egg Bowl and knocked off the Bulldogs. Hugh Innocent to the near side, and he'll have about 8 or 9 yards.
Now, that was the one where they ran 11 plays inside the 10-yard line, wasn't it?
Right at the end of the game. That was something.
A little shuffle play down the line here and get the ball to Innocent. Let him use that speed outside. Good block there by the wide receiver downfield. Those wide receivers, when they get in those meetings, they said, "Did you see that block I threw on that defensive back?"
It's normally Auburn known for throwing those wide receiver blocks. Under a minute to go, 3rd quarter. Quick opener. Smith breaks one tackle. Chris Schelling had him wrapped up for a minute. Then Marcellus Mostella from the weak side linebacker spot came to get him. And it looks like we have maybe one play to go here in the 3rd quarter as the Rebels will move the chains.
And I think Nelson's got to go back to that first down pass. He's been successful with it. It keeps the heat off him. At least the defensive linemen aren't running down his throat on that first down because they have to respect the running play.
First down at the 33. Nelson with a little swing pass. Hugh Innocent trying to cut it upfield. Almost to the 40-yard line. That's great yardage on first down. Nice call,
yeah,
Mr. Offensive Coordinator.
Well, that's a nice swing pass. I'd like to get him out there, get him on with a backer trying to cover him one-on-one out of the backfield. Just let him slide out of there. Backer comes up, and all of a sudden the backer says, "Oops, I got to go get him." You see, that was Miska that was trying to cover him out of the backfield. He got picked off.
And that will do it for the 3rd quarter. Ole Miss gets a touchdown, and so does Auburn, so they trade in the period. And we go to the 4th quarter. Ole Miss with the ball when we come back, but down by 12.
Here in the Outback, we play our own brand of football. Outback rules. No sidelines. No time limits. No telling which way the boomerang will bounce. Just the ultimate goal. Great steak. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
It's like a great high, right?
First time.
How'd you know?
Just a hunch. How'd she get away from you?
The facts don't add up.
I hooked her in!
And nothing is what it seems.
What took you so long?
I just want you to see that she's come back from the dead.
Ditch Brody's life is on the line.
You have 5 seconds. 1.
You gotta be kidding me.
2. 4.
What happened to 3?
And his only choice is to take the fall. Charlie Sheen, Nastasia Kinski, Terminal Velocity, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, September 23rd.
This is the showroom where we sell the most Ford trucks. It's called the real world, and the only salesman is the truck itself. In fact, our trucks have sold so many people on Ford, we have more repeat buyers than any other truck, which isn't surprising. Because at Ford, we've always figured that if you make a habit of building better trucks, people will make a habit of driving them. Ford F-Series. For 17 straight years, the best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
Auburn by 12. Fourth quarter coming up on the season's opening day. And Ole Miss back to work offensively with Josh Nelson at the controls. Off the right side, Dew Innocent has become their go-to guy on this drive. And he'll get good yardage on that play. And the yardage situation for Ole Miss looking a little better. They added 136 yards onto their total in the third quarter. Lee Apparel game summary. Auburn still with the edge, but Ole Miss still has a chance to make a game of this. But they've got to get a touchdown on this drive or a very quickly ensuing drive. A field goal along here doesn't do them a whole lot of good. They would need 3 scores if that happens. Mark Smith on the near side, over midfield. And he is cracked out of bounds hard at the 45 of Auburn.
Well, that was a collision. Brian Robinson, number 20, came up and stuck him. But that was a double stick. Mark Smith also. Watch this. Outside. Use that speed. Now you've got the first down. Get as many yards as you can. Watch this collision. Bam! Right there.
That's not in your face. That's into your bench. Robinson has made the move from strong to free safety. Fred Smith got hurt last year, and that shuffled their entire secondary around. Colorado of the Big 8 having a tough time on their season opening day. Nelson, oh, that could have been an interception. Pounding the turf with his fists is Ken Alvis. Ball thrown behind to Boris Fisher. Ken Alvis, a redshirt freshman from Demopolis, Alabama. Outstanding athlete who played defensive back, wide receiver, quarterback, averaged 25 a game on the basketball court. And it'll be 2nd and 10 for Nelson and the Rebels. Look out. He got rid of it. Here's Innocent up the middle. And he's down to the 30-yard line. That will be a play that'll move the chains as the Rebels are on the move with Dew.
Yeah, they're yelling Dew. Good pressure there. Andre Miller come running in real quick, but the screen pass, just dump it over his head. Look at Miller. Boom. He hits him. There's a little screen pass. See those big linemen right here now. Dew Innocent comes back inside, gets that positive yardage. Good call.
First down at the 30. Just over a minute into the fourth quarter. Great drop, lots of time for Nelson, and he hits his man on the left flat to Boris Fisher.
See, that's what I think Nelson does best. Drop back passer, stay in the pocket, look downfield. Throw that 12 to 15-yard pattern, try to pick it up, get a lot of people in one zone. He's got good confidence in there. You know, he had a lot of pressure on him coming in here today.
Lawrence Adams, their quarterback of last year, has moved to defensive back, and he doesn't appear on the depth chart. Lawrence has sort of disappeared from the play squad at the moment. 2nd down and 4. at the 24. Nelson will roll right on the run. He's got his man, Lee May Thomas. And that appears to be a first down. They like to isolate Lee May one-on-one whenever they can. He can fly out there.
Watch Innocent come up here and make that block on the backer. Boy, he stuck him. Got his hands down in a hurry. That's just good effort there in the out pattern. Ole Miss moving the football, moving along good play selection, safe play selection. That's what you want. You get down, and this is called 4-down territory. This is where you have to go for it. On 4th down, you're going for the first down or the touchdown.
First down, ball is just inside the 20. Nelson keeps it. And it's a good thing he didn't try to pitch that ball. There was some very good early penetration in that Ole Miss backfield by Marcellus Mostella, and then Mike Pelton was there to make the tackle after the quarterback decided wisely, I might add, to keep the football.
You can see Nelson trying to get his jersey back on. They about ripped his shirt off. But that was an interesting call. That was going to be an option down the line. It closed up fast, and he had to just beat the ball in the middle. But they need to pass that football. That's what's gotten them here.
Second down 8 with a single back Innocent. He'll run a pattern up the middle. Ball goes to the right. There he is. Escapes the tackle inside the 10. Was he down back there? He's at the 5, and it appears the official will mark him down back at the 19-yard line.
It looked as if he just ducked underneath someone, but evidently his knee must have touched down. Watch the beginning of his play. Catches the football, just kind of disappears under the defender. There's the catch. Now watch the knee. There's the... Ooh, that was close. That was close. There's the tail end fumble.
Yeah, that's a 14-yard difference. And here's a 3rd and 9 coming up. Nelson keeps it. Now he unloads it. Yes, down to the 10. And on the receiving end, Lee May Thomas.
And that may be Nelson's best pass because he was under a lot of pressure. The pocket collapsed around him. He stepped up, started to run, and then kind of gathered his composure. Watch this. The pocket's dissolving around him, under pressure. Now run. Wait a minute. I'm a quarterback. I throw the football. And he finds his receiver downfield.
Forward progress stopped at the 8. First and goal for the Rebels. 11:38 and counting to go. A 12-play drive already that's covered 70 yards. Draw play. Smith. Can he get outside and score? He'll be down at the 2. Manhandled by Brian Robinson.
I'll tell you, Mark Smith, boy, he uses his body as a weapon, but it's only about 190 pounds. But boy, does he take a smack. He doesn't avoid contact. He makes contact. This is a draw play. Get outside. Now watch the tail end when he gets tackled. He gets smacked. But he's not running out of bounds. Bam!
Jerry Bowden pacing, hoping his defense can come up with a turnover or a big stop. And a timeout has been called by Ole Miss. They've been out there a long time, and Jolie Dunn with his offensive coordinator, Larry Keck, they want to make sure no mistakes are made. Second and goal coming up when we return. The Rebels down by 12.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. It's smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
Power, BC Power.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief.
Power, BC Power.
No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC.
BC Power in the powder. The power of BC.
When you need strong relief, BC Powder stops pain fast.
The power of BC.
See your Mazda dealer right now and get savings on the spot. For a limited time, Mazda is offering 3.9% APR financing for 36 months with no down payment and no payments for 90 days. This exceptional financing offer is available on any new Mazda car and truck you buy, on top of additional incentives on most models. This offer ends at midnight September 5th. So get to your Mazda dealer now and get savings on the spot.
Okay, these guys are the party people. I mean, look at them. They are hungry. So then these guys here, they're the host team. They send this guy over here to Hardee's for fresh fried chicken. It's the perfect play. Hardee's chicken deal is just $5.99. 8 pieces of chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. Okay, watch the replay. 8 pieces of Hardee's chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. So when these guys come rushing in, here's all this chicken to tackle. When you toss a party, make the big play. Have plenty of Hardee's fried chicken to pass around.
10:53 to go. Second and goal for the Rebels of Ole Miss. Backs are split. Quarterback keeps it, and he is sacked. Back at the 12-yard line, guess who? Brian Robinson.
Who's the safety? Strong safety on the play was coming. It's a blitz. That's a tough play selection to go to a play-action pass. This is play-action pass. You can see Robinson, the safety, coming in, number 20. Now you have no alternative. Now you've got to pass.
Auburn had 39 sacks last year, 3 on opening day this year. They'll mark the progress at the 8-yard line, so it's 3rd and 8. 15th play of the drive coming up. Josh Nelson's been outstanding, but he's got to get it into the end zone. He's in trouble. Escapes. Big trouble now, and he's taken down from behind. And getting him there was Willie Whitehead, the left defensive end, number 90.
Those big linemen just collapse that pocket around him. You see what a poor play selection makes on that play-action pass? Oh, it limits you to a pass, and now those big linemen are just coming flying in there. Good rush there by Whitehead, number 90, excuse me.
And sack number 4. Now it's 4th and goal.
See, the field goal doesn't help you.
Yep, they got to have the touchdown. 4th and goal from the 13.
And that one time, wasn't it first, what was it, 2nd and goal on the 2?
2nd and goal at the 2. Plenty of time this time. And it is caught for a touchdown! Roel Preston! Unbelievable play!
You talk about parallel to the ground. Reaching out, looking it in, bringing it in. What a catch! And you have to give what a throw, too.
On 4th and goal from the 13, the Rebels score.
Coming right at you from left to right. You're going to see Nelson's going to deliver the ball low, and watch Roel Preston, number 1, go get it. Stretch out. Great concentration to pull it in. You can't throw it any better than that. Again, this is Nelson. Steps up, delivers a strike.
And the extra point by Tim Mons is perfect. It's a 22-17 game. And what that does, Ole Miss now, if they can hold Auburn and get 6 more, they've got the outright lead. 9:14 to go. A brilliant touchdown play, and what a ball game in Oxford.
Get off the couch, turn off the tube, blow the dust off the barbecue, turn up the heat, break out the buns. We're going outside, gonna have some fun. When Dixie's going all out, gonna save you more. Going all out for the great outdoors. We've got everything that you're looking for. Going all out for the great outdoors.
Here in the Outback, we know what's important in life. Food.
You don't mind, do you?
No, mate. I don't.
If you feel the same way, get to Outback Steakhouse.
I got a bloomin' good recipe for onions. Jack Ingram makes it easy for you to buy the car or truck you want. Just sign and drive it. Then buy it. Look at these Jack Ingram sign and drive it values.
A 94.5 Nissan Sentra LE. Sign and drive it for $193.25 a month, then buy it for $66.84.50. A 94 Nissan pickup. Sign and drive it for $196.65 a month, then buy it for $58.04.03.
See us for details. Just sign and drive it, then buy it. It's just that simple, and it's only at Jack Ingram Motors.
It could take an entire week to see all the great stuff at J&M. Blue Monday can be any color with J&M's art and architectural supplies. Tuesday, you can check out the latest in computer software and equipment. They're both necessary evils, Wednesdays and textbooks. You may need all day Thursday to try on all the incredible Auburn clothing. Friday, you could buy an Auburn souvenir or two or three or more. And if you like crowds, you might want to go to J&M on game day. J&M Bookstores, 2 great locations in Auburn.
What a turnaround by Ole Miss. 4 yards in the first half, 218 in a period and a third of the second half. They will kick it off. Auburn's got to do something with the football now. Up by only 5. Lots of time to go. Kickoff hangs high. It's about 2 yards deep. Frank Sanders will run it out. And he is knocked down. Out at about the 15-yard line. David Knott on special teams with the play for the Rebels of Ole Miss. Yeah, let's get him up, says Steve Campbell.
And you know, that's what they're saying in the Auburn huddle. Let's get him up. We've got to get some offense going. I know Terry Bowden had to be concerned. To dominate the first half like he did and only have a 13-point lead, he had to be concerned about that. And now he's really concerned.
15 plays on that drive. Less than 7.5 minutes. Auburn offense hasn't exactly been awesome lately, but this guy has. But a gang tackle will stop Stephen Davis. You remember, he gained 61 yards on their last scoring drive.
That was a defensive line tackle. You see big Norman Hand running down the line. He turns it back in. In comes Troy Ferguson sliding along the line, makes the tackle. Auburn needs to get something going right now. Stephen Davis needs to pick up that positive yardage, but they need some first downs to take this crowd. There's not a person sitting down here if you're an Ole Miss fan.
Second down and 9. Draw play, same guy. Net head on. Stacy Wilson says hello from left defensive end. His 6th tackle of the day.
Same guy, same result. Stuck on the line of scrimmage. The defensive linemen are really playing well up front for Ole Miss.
Bob Kessling on the sidelines.
We got an update on Leonard Thomas. He really begged the Auburn coaching staff to let him back into the game. He twisted his left ankle. They retaped it. He's basically limping on it right now, but he told the coaches, I want to go play. He's back out there, number 60, but you can watch him. He's not that effective right now.
Playing the tight guard position. Next to center Shannon Robique. 3rd down and 8. Big play for Auburn. Draw play. Nothing in the backfield. David McGowan with the defensive play.
Bob, that's about 7 or 8 solo tackles from McGowan sliding along the line. Defensive linemen are not supposed to get that far in the backfield. Watch when the ball is handed out. Look at McGowan. Plays off the block there, just comes up and just smashes them down.
Tim Bowens departed for the NFL. First-round draft choice of the Dolphins. McGowan got the call. He might be the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Wobbly low kick there. A rare one by Terry Daniel. Great field position for the Rebels. Just outside their 46-yard line. Only 38 on the kick from the All-American. A complete reversal of momentum here, and Terry Bowden very nervously pacing now.
Well, one thing about greatness, and Terry Bowden has a great football team, greatness, they know how to win, and they will rise up. I promise you this, he's got him on the sideline. You don't see a lot of people standing around him because he's upset right now. He's telling his players, you've got to respond on defense.
Ole Miss has time to respond. A shovel on the end around to Boris Fisher. down to the 35-yard line of Auburn. Some razzle-dazzle from this new Mississippi offense. 21 yards on the first down play.
What a play it is. It's a down-the-line option shuffle pass. Just an amazing call on that situation, and good yardage to the outside. You ought to see the offensive linemen for Ole Miss. They're jumping up. Jeff Miller was doing high fives with Chris May. They are really bouncing out there on the Ole Miss side.
First down at the 35. Play action. Quarterback in too much traffic. He tried to step forward. The problem was his offensive line, Skip Joyce, Shannon Preventure and company, was being pushed straight back by Gary Walker and Bobby Dappin on that Auburn defense. Big play by the Tigers. That'll be a loss of 4. Away on 2nd and 14. Dappin, the man, he escaped. He finds Mark Smith down for a first down near the 21-yard line. They'll mark it back at the 23. It took a secondary man, Del McGee, to make the tackle, but great improvisation again by Josh Nelson.
Watch this move to get outside the pressure. Now, get your shoulder square to the line and just touch the ball. That's the best part about that pass, was the little touch that he threw on the football. Didn't drill it to him, just dropped it to him and picked up the big yardage.
First and 10 at the 23. Another end-around play, nothing happening. He's got to unload it. Finds a man! Out of bounds at the 14 is Mark Smith.
Well, I promise you that wasn't designed that way. I thought that was going to be that little shuffle pass underneath, but the pocket collapsed around him. Watch this. See if this is not the little shuffle pass where you come back down. All of a sudden, it just makes a play out of nothing.
Josh Nelson. His family's here from California today. His sister, Tana, very ill at the age of 19, has been driven down from the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota for this game. It may be the only time she gets to watch her brother play. What a day he's having. 2nd and 2, Mark Smith tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Alonzo Etheridge, the senior right end, with a big tackle.
This is a situation, if you're an Ole Miss coach, you say, let's not get fancy. Let's play strength football. Let's go in there. Let's just drive. We've got 3rd down, about 1 yard to go. You're in 4-down territory. I can promise you Joe Lee Dunn doesn't want to see anything fancy. He's just playing smash mouth football. Power on power to see if we can get the 1st down. That's what he's saying.
Ole Miss only 2 of 10 on 3rd down today. Backs are split. Mark Smith has it. Cuts up inside the 10. And I think he's got enough to spare. It'll be 1st and goal for the Rebels. The clock is under 5 minutes to go.
Well, if you're in the Auburn huddle, oh, and there's Mark Smith starting to limp. They don't like to see that. But if you're in the Auburn huddle right now, in that defensive huddle, they're saying, hey, listen, we're all right. We need to get in here. We need to have a big play. Somebody's got to make something happen. Got to hold them to a field goal try. That's what their thoughts are right now.
Rebels have done well in the red zone today. 1st and goal at the 9. A roll to the right. A bullet almost intercepted. Ken Alvis should have had it.
Ken Alvis, he had a 100-yard run. And there's no one knows it more than Josh Nelson, the quarterback. This hit him in a bad spot, the hands. Watch this. Ken Alvis, number 9, he's got a 100-yard run.
Auburn loses this one. He will not want to look at that piece of film. 2nd down and goal from the 9. Single back is innocent. They go to the right side, and then a quick tackle on the corner. Number 24, Del McGee, up to get to Vance Fisher, who was the intended receiver on the previous play, by the way. And that play will pick up about 2.5 yards.
And Roel Preston came back and he said, hey, Nobody had me. I was on that little crossing pattern again, and nobody had me.
He says that every time.
I know. Don't you always hear that from wide receivers? I was open. Throw me the ball.
3rd and goal from the 6. 9th play of the drive coming up. Clock under 4 minutes to go. Nelson with time, flushed out to the left and sacked. Wrapping him up was Scott Stacy, number 54. 3rd man on the depth chart.
That's the big
sack
play.
number 6 for Auburn.
And that's the big play that they needed. They needed that sack. They needed something to take away this touchdown threat.
Looks like they're going to go for the field goal here. Unless it's a fake, it'll be a 30-yarder that could put them to within 2. Another field goal could win it. Tim Montz is on. And it's blocked. The Tigers block it. Chris Schelling, number 4.
I was just about to say, with the great leg of Mounts, you got to realize that he can hit a 50-yarder real easy. But that was a big play. We talked about greatness, and this Auburn team has it. Their defense rode up there. They just rose up and stopped them. They took a stand.
3:11 on the clock, and Auburn will get the football back. It's 22-17. The Tigers survive for the moment. They've got possession when we return to Oxford.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
See your Mazda dealer right now and get savings on the spot. For a limited time, Mazda is offering 3.9% APR financing for 36 months with no down payment and no payments for 90 days. This exceptional financing offer is available on any new Mazda car and truck you buy, on top of additional incentives on most models. This offer ends at midnight September 5th. So get to your Mazda dealer now and get savings on the spot.
Nutrageous from Reese's. Peanuts, milk chocolate, caramel, Reese's peanut butter. New Nutrageous. Give your mouth a party.
Saturday, our Lee SEC game of the week, a battle between Vandy and Bama, 11:30 Central Time. The Tide led by Jay Barker. He's back from a knee injury, an incredible 23-1-1 as the starter. National championship 2 years ago as well. The Commodores, great defense, led by linebacker Gerald Collins, 86 tackles last year. We were there when Bama got the best of the Commodores, 17-6. We'll be there in Tuscaloosa next Saturday. Our Lee SEC game of the week. 3:11 to go here in Oxford. 22-17 Tigers with the football. The pitch. Guess who? Stephen Davis. He will be a tired young man on that flight back to the Auburn area. He's been their workhorse of the second half.
And Bob, now when you get under 3 minutes, coaches are saying, okay, we need to get 2 first downs to run the clock out. So that's what Terry Bowden is thinking on that sideline. We need at least 2 first downs to run this clock out.
Auburn by 5. Ole Miss has used 1 timeout. Tigers took over on the 20. After the block 30-yard field goal attempt, Chris Schelling got the block. And by the way, Stephen Davis, 27 carries, 144 yards. He's averaging 5.3. Under 2.5 to go. 2nd and 6. There's the pitch to him. angles off the right side, finds a seam. He's over the 31 for the first down.
That's the first down that they need. On the other sideline, Joe Lee Dunn saying, defense, you got to stop him. You can't let him have a first down. And he's figuring, how long can he go before he has to use his timeouts? He only has 2 left.
Two minutes to go. Almost at the 31 on a 1st and 10. And a quick opener, straight off right tackle. Tigers will be content to pound their way to the victory here.
And Bob, real important that Patrick Nix look in the end zone at that clock, use all the time that he can before he calls the play. Of course, they call timeout. This is the second one that Ole Miss has had to use.
It comes with 1:44 to go. Well, Ole Miss had a lot of people to replace. They got some immediate help with 12 junior college transfers. 4 have been with the team since January and then into spring ball. Trying to recover from that stretch run of 93 when they lost 4 of their last 5. Ole Miss in a bowl game as recently as 2 years ago when they beat Air Force, shut them out, in fact, up in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl. Abdul Jackson playing with a brace on his knee. And we welcomed back some of our other crew members earlier today. It's great to have our spotter Kim Anderson back out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Scott McKinney out of Memphis, Tennessee, helping us out of our telecast today. They are our event staff, and we appreciate those guys traveling to come and help us out. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you from Tuscaloosa next Saturday when the Commodores take on the Tide. That's not a walkman. He's still getting some instructions for the next time Ole Miss gets the football back. And Dave, that's if they get the football back.
Yeah, they have to stop it. 2nd down. They have 1 timeout left. They just had to burn 1 down to 1:44.
2nd and 8. Straight ahead, feeling his way, Stephen Davis. David Knott, who backs up Antonius Bonner at free safety, up with the stop.
Have to call another timeout here. You've got to make a stand. That's their last timeout, of course. 1:37 left. They're hoping they're going to get the football back at the Ole Miss team. And Terry Bowden's over there saying, listen, just keep that ball on the ground, eat that clock up. They have no more timeouts. Watch that clock in the end zone. Get it down to 3, 2, 1 before you snap the ball.
So the entire game basically filters down to a 3rd and 7 coming up. If Ole Miss stops them, they'll get the football back with no timeouts. And keep in mind, Auburn has an All-American punter, Terry Daniel, who can send them way downfield.
Oh,
well, if they don't stop him and Auburn gets the first down, this one is history.
You know, one of the decisions that you have to make here, it's 3rd down and 7. If you throw the ball, that automatically stops the clock. So if you run the football, there's not a strong chance that you're going to pick up 7 yards on a running play. So it's a tough decision for Terry Bowden and his staff. Do they pass the ball, risking the clock being stopped on the incomplete, or do they run it?
I give it to the big tailback, and if he can't get it, I give it to the All-American punter.
I think you're right. You got my vote.
I'm starting to sound like Joe Lee Dunn, getting very conservative here. But I'm out to protect that winning streak. And there's the man, Stephen Davis. He'll be around next year. Preseason All-SEC, what a big day. 3rd and 7. He's the deep man in the pro-eye offense of Auburn. He's got the pitch. He won't get the first down. Pretty good stop there, shooting the gap by David McGowan. Had some help from David Knott.
Now, when you have an All-American punter, do you take the delay a game here because he's got such a strong leg? You use as much clock as you can. You'll have it under a minute if you do.
Well, they've got a great snapper in Brian Brinsfield. Didn't play in the spring because of a back injury, but Brian Brinsfield is playing his 34th consecutive game without making a bad snap. And he's probably smart enough to snap it with about 1 second left on the clock. a former walk-on in '91. We don't talk about those guys too much. And there's another perfect snap. And look at that kick. At the 6. To the near side. To Boris Fisher. And the Rebels will have a long way to go in 40 seconds. 61 yards at crunch time. Terry Daniel comes through.
And Bob, he snapped that ball when it was on 2.
Okay,
he had to be looking at that clock. He snapped the ball right on 2. As you were talking, I was watching that clock going down, saying, he's listening to you.
So hats off to Brian Brinsfield, the snapper of Auburn. You got to have a good guy like that to have a good kicking game. They've got a ways to go to equal those Sooners, the 50s. But, you know, Alabama has the SEC record. They've won 28 in a row two times in their history. Nelson up the middle. And the ball wasn't caught. It was dropped by one receiver and then almost picked up by LeMay Thomas. Roel Preston should have had it.
And this is when you go into that 110 defense if you're Auburn. One guy up on the line and 10 guys getting deep. Good movement here in the pocket by Nelson to avoid a little bit of pressure.
Watch number 5.
Tip it up, tip it up. Nope, it bounces.
Good call by Bobby Gaston's officiating crew. 34 seconds to go, 2nd and 10.
I'm still looking for Roel Preston.
So's Josh Nelson. He rolls ahead, dumps it off, and it's over the hands of LeMay Thomas, and a flag flies back near the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to be holding, almost definitely holding. It's tough for those big offensive linemen. Defensive linemen know it's going to be a pass. They're just running down their throat just as hard as they can. Those big offensive linemen trying to funnel them outside.
It is looking bleak for the Rebels.
There's the holding call.
27 seconds to go.
On the offense.
22-17.
Watch in the middle here. That may be Chris May right there. 59.
Trying to hold off. There's would-be tacklers. 9 Ole Miss penalties today for 100 yards. Nelson inside his own 5. Wings it out. There's Roel Preston. He wants to get as much as he can before he gets out of bounds. And he does at the 33. 20 seconds to go.
Well, that only took about, what, 7 seconds for that play? Picked up about 20 yards. Not a bad play.
But somewhere along the line, they need a big yardage play. 40, 50 yards. They've got 69 yards to go in 20 seconds.
You can see Ken Alvis, number 9 for Auburn. He's about 20 yards off the ball. He's playing like the center fielder. Now he comes up.
Strong side left with all those receivers. There it is up the sideline and nobody there as Roel Preston never got there. Chris Schelling, the boundary cornerback, was defended. 14 seconds to go, and just as importantly, 4th and 1 coming up.
Watch this after Nelson gets rid of it. Bam! Saying, Coach, they didn't hit like this in the scrimmage.
That's Andre Miller, the only Mississippi player who wears the Auburn uniform. Only guy from the state of Mississippi playing for the Tigers. It comes down to 4th and 1. Look out, and that will do it. First man that got there was Mike Pelton. Willie Whitehead finished it off, and the Auburn Tigers are going to survive their season opener. But Dave Rowe, you've got to take your hats off to the way Ole Miss played in the second half after 4 total yards in the first half.
Well, right away you start saying, well, what would they have done if they had had any offense at all in the first half? Because they played a great game. But you have to give credit to Auburn, too, because when they needed it, their defense rose up. They had 7 sacks. They intercepted the ball. I think they had 2 interceptions. They played a great football game. Blocked that field goal late in the game.
Patrick Nix and the Auburn Tigers kneeling on it. And Nix, in his first game after the great 4-year career of Stan White, has won his opener. Terry Bowden extends the nation's longest winning streak to an even dozen, and Joe Lee Dunn's team just could not stage enough of a comeback today. Auburn wins it. We're back to Oxford in a minute.